Day, sponsored by LensSeek.
Your kids need to know artificial intelligence in order to be prepared for the working world.
This is going to be a very, very common thing they're going to have to use when they enter the workforce, so it's beneficial to them to know how to use it.
It can also be used to cheat on their homework in the here and now. He says it's up to parents and educators to make sure students know how to use AI the right way.
We work with them and let them know what the guardrails are on how you should use it, how you shouldn't use it.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Got heat? No? Say, come on into Campbell. If it's cold outside and inside, contact Campbell. Campbell Heating and Cooling does business the American way with their own technicians, so you know that you can trust who's coming into your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From simple service to a complete system replacement, count on Campbell, veteran-owned and operated. Campbell Heating and Cooling. Visit CampbellCooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Equipment.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner from Money Wisdom. Want to learn ways to minimize taxes in retirement, protect your money against inflation and healthcare expenses, and develop a personalized income plan? Call 1-800-208-SAFE to get your free guide to maximizing retirement book. That's 800-208-7233 to get your free book today.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. Listen, I had an incredible experience with them. They gave me a great estimate. They were there on time, and when they came to paint our kitchen, they were in and out, and when they were gone, it was like they were never there, except they left a beautiful kitchen. Maybe it's time for you to take a look at their spring sales event. You can get 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. Serta Pro Painters, they're independently owned and operated right here in our community. So you might want to give them a call. Start spring off right. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio.
Reese is on the radio. Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! How we doing? Are we all warmed up for the week? It is Tuesday, and I'm ready to get it popping. What's up, scallywags, nutbaggers, and of course you haters? It's Reese on the Radio live on WTIC News Talk 1080. Michael B., what's going on? First in, scallywag on the check-in. A lot of news, a lot of views to talk about today. Kind of a weird news day, as it were. News
when you can tell the news media has to force a story down your throat in order for it to be interesting. That's when you know it's a slow news day. We'll get into it. The Joe Kent resignation, what it means, why it's important, or why it isn't, actually. We'll break all that down. And a whole bunch of other stuff. We have the guest today who is going to respond to the rabble-rousers, the protesters, the activist class in Hartford, Connecticut. The Hartford Police Union President, James Ratowski, will be here at 4 o'clock. He'll respond to the shootings that took place a few weeks ago that involved the deaths of Everard Walker and Stevie Jones and the officers that were involved in those shootings. And, of course, some of the details that he can share and not so much the ones that he cannot. But we'll get a breakdown of, how people have been addressing the police department and the mayor about the violence going on there. And we'll ask a whole bunch of other questions. Full disclosure, James is a friend of mine. And, I refer to him as Ruddy. And I'm just as fair to him as I would someone who wasn't a buddy of mine. So he's going to come here just to sort of respond to the questions that have been raised about those shootings and about the police department, and as far as he's concerned, as the support or lack thereof that he's getting as a police department. So all of that we'll hash out on the program. As I said, we'll talk about the Joe Kemp resignation as people will try to spin that in a lot of ways. I just saw Representative Jim Himes on CNN somewhat stunned and flummoxed. Donald Trump didn't get what he wanted. There are details to this story you don't even know yet that are being reported now from places most of you don't go, but I'll break those down to you because, it's my job too. Had a great conversation. I want to say, you may not know her here. I don't know if you've ever listened to her over there at our sister station, but I want to give a personal shout out to her on-air name is Jenny Boom Boom, but I'm just going to say Jenny. I want to thank her for the great conversation that I had with her yesterday. Her show is on at the same time as mine. So in essence, we are competitors, friendly competitors. And she's known me for a long time, back in the in the early 2000s, as I was her competitor at another station. And she was always very kind to me. So as soon as I got to meet her again, she was just the same warmth. And she and I don't agree politically. And it was nice to have that conversation with her as well. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too, Lori, and everyone else. I'll get to that in a second. But I want to give her a shout out because we had a very spirited conversation yesterday about politics. And it was fun. It was a fun conversation for me. I hope it was for her, but it was fun for me. Because I will tell you, no matter what Democrats believe, I hope that they listen to this show knowing in their hearts that Reese on the Radio is very interested in their point of view. Now, I talk to a lot of folks who are online and people who are involved politically here, and I'm not going to use the word hate, but let's just say despise is a fair definition. They do not like or despise Democrats or leftists or liberals, especially the protest and activist class. They don't. And some of them I know get annoyed with me that I give people on the left an opportunity to converse with me. Or when I see them out in public, I will talk to them. And I'm very gracious and very, I would say, kind to people who don't agree with me, even when they are rabid. When they talk about me and my positions and what I believe, I never lose composure. And I think part of the reason that it annoys them as well as annoys everyone else is because I look at them right in the face and I go, I totally appreciate your opinion, but in the grand scheme of things, the only person that matters to is you. And that hurts. It does. And the same goes for us. The only person that matters to, as far as opinions are concerned, are us. And we could do that all day. We can have our little circular, session, family show. You know what I mean? Where we can all stroke each other's egos, talk about how great and smart we are. I could do that all day. Right? But for me, I'm bored. I am. I like engaging the people who don't agree with me, and I love understanding why. They are fearful because they think I'm trying to convince them of otherwise. I don't. I have no interest in convincing them. None. This may be a little harsh. Sorry. By the way, if it don't apply, let it fly. I'm saying this to the left, okay? If it don't apply, let it fly. Now, if you take offense, that means that there's some truth in this and you feel it in yourself. I can't make you feel anyway. If you in some way get triggered, as you folks like to say, about what I'm about to say, that's on you. You need to check yourself, okay? I don't really care what you think. Never been interested in what you think at all, or even why. But I do want to listen. And I'm not into convincing you that I am right. I already know. What I want to understand is how far down the rabbit hole you are willing to go to stand against what I believe. You see, I really don't think you disagree with me. I really don't. I think if you get out of your own way and stop fighting me, or stop fighting people on the right, conservatives, libertarians, whatever it is, if you actually just listen like you want to hear them, you will come to realize that you are being forced into your belief system. You would. Now, why would I think that? Well, you're going to have to explain a couple of things to me. You're going to have to explain a couple of things to me. See, I know, and I've spoken to this person, I have a very, very, I would believe, great relationship with them. This individual is a homophobe. An admitted homophobe. This individual, and I ask, just to be clear, do you do understand that homophobe means that you are fearful of homosexuals? And the individual responded to me by saying, yes, I feel uncomfortable around them. And I went, okay. Nothing wrong with you admitting that's how you feel. I am not going to call you irrational or call you a name because you feel that way. It's nothing to do with me. That's you. But imagine that person being a committed leftist. Imagine that. And then having to defend things that are against his principle. Not because he's for the thing that he's promoting, but because he hates conservatives, Republicans, or just Donald Trump. See, that's the reason why I wish to hear these people out. Not that I care. Not that I wish to persuade them. I need to understand how you can have the position that you have when you know it goes against everything that you believe in. And how you can, again, bathe yourself in a doctrine. Bathe in it, dripping all over you. And still hold the beliefs that are the antithesis of the people you support. How do you square that circle every day? And then speak to me or anyone else about morality or about integrity. How do you do it? Listening to them is an education you will get nowhere. You see, folks, that's what a cult is. You see, you can ask someone, hey, do you support LGBTQ lifestyles? And they will go, yes, I do, in front of their peers. And then get them privately and go, hey, you ever kissed a guy? And they go, what are you saying? I'm like, you support LGBTQ, right? You support gay lifestyles. You ever been with a man? Yo, you trying to disrespect me, man? You want to get into a fight? Whoa, why is this fighting? I thought it was normal. What are you getting all agitated about? You should have no opinions about this that would induce anger. That you're for this. You normalize this behavior. Yo, that ain't for me, yo. Well, then why do you support it? Well, immediately they shut down. All of a sudden they start tweaking. They don't know what to do with themselves. Ask them how they would feel if their child decided that they wanted to cut off a body part. All of a sudden, they start tweaking. But wait a minute, don't you support that? Well, I mean, I don't support it for me. You know what I'm saying? I support it for the people out there who do. Well, how can you do both? How can you find it wrong in your own child? I thought that you were for children making this decision. That's what your party stands for. How do you do that? If your child walked in and said, hey, Daddy, I wish to remove certain body parts from my body, wouldn't you be all for it? You wouldn't stand against it. You wouldn't try to get that kid therapy, would you? You wouldn't try to shake the nonsense out of him. Come here, child. What are you, crazy? You would accept it, right? You would dive right in, huh? But no, they would not. They stand against those things in their personal life. And they perform. They perform for the rest of us. They post all the memes. They post all the videos. And then secretly live in a world that's more like mine. They have values that for some odd reason align with mine. I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's just to go along to get along. I don't know if it's addiction or hatred. A lot of it is confusing to me. I get people who ask me all the time, how can you support this? I never said I supported anything. When you ask me, do I support something, I will look you square in the face and say, no, I don't support that. At all. And I will say it out loud. Try me. Call me up, send me a message and go, Reese, do you support this? And I'll go, no. How can you be a MAGA person? Because I can walk and chew gum. You see? You should have enough, personal integrity to say, I'm a Democrat, but I don't believe in mutilating children. I'm a Democrat. I don't believe in gay porn in the library. You should be able to say that loud and proud, but not duck and cover when you're confronted with it. To not call out your party when they promote it. You know, you guys talk a good game about how we need to be standing up against authoritarianism and fascism, while you sit idly by saying nothing about ballot measures and about legislation going on right here in Connecticut, knowing that it's dead wrong. Never once stepping up and telling the people, your elected officials, the people that you have put in charge, who are supposed to be doing your will. And when they do something wrong, you sit idly by and say nothing. And then look to rest of us and say, do you stand for this? Do you? What I'm trying to express to you is that don't lecture me. Don't play holier than thou. You're all a bunch of hypocrites, every single one of you. And I mean that to its core. You don't get to run around telling the rest of us how to behave while you get as reckless as you want to. There's a list of them. You go numb. Do you know about the voting law that they're voting? There's a voting law that's going to eliminate a bipartisanship. No, it's going to be over. Do you know about that? No, you know nothing about it, do you? Men and women's sports. Are you for that? And don't give me the Chris Murphy answer. I've got boys. I don't have to deal with this. How about men getting pregnant? Do you support that? How about abortions for men? Do you support that? You should be able to stand up and say, no, men cannot get pregnant, but you won't. So don't expect anything from the rest of us you aren't willing to do yourselves. When you start standing up, I'll applaud you. Until then, don't bore us. When we come back, I've got this great one to talk to you about that I know the Democrats aren't even going to step up because guess what? One day, this legislation is going to come back and bite you. And yours truly cannot wait. We'll return. More news, more views. When we get back, it's Reese On The Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
2:30 Hartford temperature, 41 degrees. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. President Trump expressed exasperation over the dearth of countries so far unwilling to help secure the Strait of Hormuz, 2.5 weeks into the war with Iran.
Foolish mistake. And I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test.
Trump was at the White House hosting the Prime Minister of Ireland. The president's director of counterterrorism has submitted his resignation. Joe Kent says he cannot, in good conscience, support the war in Iran. Still a slew of road closures thanks to those storms that blew through the state late Monday into this morning. Trees and power lines came down, rendering thousands of Eversource customers in the dark. The utility says right now about 16,819 of their customers are still offline. Man in New Haven is facing charges after police there say he went on a rampage breaking windows with an axe. They say Taiwan grooms stole the axe from a business on Grand Street. And what about breaking windows of random businesses? He's facing charges including carrying a dangerous weapon and burglary. Legislature's General Law Committee is advancing bills on consumer privacy and online safety protections. The Consumer Privacy Bill is intended to add regulation to the sale of geolocation data, while the Online Safety Bill regulates several chatbot and companion AI issues. NCAA men's and women's college basketball tournaments generate more wagering than any other event in the U.S. The American Gaming Association estimates a record $3.3 billion would be legally bet on the games this year. WTIC News Time 2:32. Bob Cox has the forecast.
During this afternoon, we'll see sun mixing with clouds. It's breezy and on the cold side with temperatures in the 30s to low 40s, but winds out of the west gusting to 30 miles an hour more at times, making it feel colder. Can't rule out a scattered flurry somewhere, but we're generally dry. And tonight's clear to partly cloudy, the wind decreasing. Low temperatures between 17 and 24 degrees by morning. We'll see sun mixing with clouds Wednesday, the high near 40. That's about 7 degrees below average. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, lows in the 20s. Partly sunny Thursday and Friday. Highs will be in the 40s Thursday and low 50s Friday. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 75 points. NASDAQ is up 88, and the S&P is ahead 18. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When a contractor needed to quickly lock down valuable equipment on site, they called the leader in mobile storage, Eagle Leasing. We delivered a clean, watertight storage container exactly where they needed it. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
When a contractor needed convenient office space on their job site, they called the leader in mobile offices, Eagle Leasing. The next day, we delivered a clean, high-quality office trailer and put it exactly where they needed it. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full-pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. Telephone number 860-522-9842. 860-522-9842. I have these relationships with people on the left, primarily because they're very entertaining in the sense of knowing what they think and why. Who qualifies what they believe and why. And one of my favorite things to do is, this is, again, I will tell you it's fascinating because it's funny. When you are on the left, you can't be justified by what you believe on your own. Because most people, and I don't care what your ideological bent is, reasonable people are thoughtful in their positions in life. They have a value system. Whether it's rooted in Judeo-Christian values or Buddhist values or Muslim values, whatever it is, they have a value system that they qualify through, I would say, family tradition, what they've learned, their interest in said value. They can come to you and tell you what those things are. And rarely do those values contradict each other. And one of the things, and let me tell you, the telltale sign of this kind of idea is when someone quotes to you the opposing value or the opposing individual agreeing with your value system and then calling that confirmation. What do I mean? I used to get this in racial conversations a lot with some of my peers. When I was in the hip-hop world and coming in as a conservative, talking to people in hip-hop radio, you can imagine how many people were always throwing these things at me. And it was always, look at this white person, be a black person I'd be arguing with or having a debate with. And then they would go, look at this white person agreeing with me. As if to suggest, see, even the white guy agrees. This happens in conservative versus liberal politics. They will find someone who is a Republican and say, see, even this Republican agrees with me, a Democrat. And my response to all of that is, immediately is, so now the values of the opposition matter? You're telling me that the only way you can quote a white person on race relations or a Republican on political subjects is if they agree with you. There was never any you coming to their side. It is once they agree with you, argument over. See, even Republicans agree with me. That's never, ever happened on the opposite side. No one has ever started a conversation by saying, you know, Reese, I was reading something by Thomas Sowell, and he is 100% right. I never thought of it that way. You never see them do it, ever. Because, again, they have no values. And when you don't have values, right, when you have anarchy as a leftist, you can believe anything you want. Do you understand how that works? That's the whole purpose of leftism. It's anarchy. It's cats. It's dogs. It's raining. It's everything. It's chaos. That's how they survive. You can look them square in the face and says, wait a minute, that doesn't jive. It doesn't make sense. And they would go, it doesn't have to make sense. I was watching two people on one of those debate forums, and the guy is explaining to them, to this the leftists, as the leftist is trying to preach socialism. And the reasonable conservative is saying, hold on. You believe that socialism works. And the guy says, yes. And he says, and you believe in illegals being able to come into the country illegally. And he says, yes. And he goes, do you understand that most of the people who are leaving their countries of origins come from socialist, if not communist countries? And he goes, yes. And he goes, so the reason why they're leaving is what? And the guy goes, because their economies are horrible, and the United States economy is where people can make money. So the capitalist society is the savior of the illegal who is running away from the socialist economy. And you believe socialism should work here. And the guy didn't bat an eye and said, yes. Reason means nothing to these people. Up is down, down is up, left is right. They don't care. The lunatics want to run the asylum. But remember, they don't want to run anything. See how that works? They want to be in charge of nothing. They don't want anybody to be in charge. They don't want reason. They don't want parents. They don't want grown-ups. They want all of their heart's desires being met simultaneously. And they want others to pay for it, especially those who have, in their view, gained the system or have been successful. That's what they care about. They don't need reason or responsibility. They don't need accountability either. Those things mean nothing to them at all. They want what they want because deep down they are petulant children who haven't gotten their way. Why not? Why haven't I been rich? Why didn't I get rich? How come they got rich and I'm not? Well, what did you do? I worked hard. Okay, doing what? Well, I worked hard. Well, do you think it's that simple? Do you think that they just work hard? Well, I'm sure they worked hard. Well, do you know anything that they've done? No. Why don't you find out? There's no interest in that. What do you mean? You want me to work? I told you I'm against that. I want it because I want it. And they'll stomp around like children. That's what they do. Didn't you hear Reverend AJ? He blames you. How dare you be prosperous? How dare you produce things? How dare you go to school, get an education, buy yourself a house, make life, I don't know, good for your children? How dare you? You ain't do nothing for me. You ever think about me? I don't know you. I'm supposed to do something for you for strangers? When have you ever done that? Well, I'm the oppressed. Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody lower than you. What have you done for them? Well, I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in me. And that's what it is. It's a bunch of greed. A bunch of theft. The reason why none of this makes sense is because you're dealing with children. And that's what they are. Jealous, hating children. They know that you got and they don't. And because you have and they don't, they believe that they should have part of it. Just because I'm struggling. Why are you struggling? Not important. I am. They can sign on to all of this nonsense, and then privately, when you talk to them privately, they will tell you, like, look, I ain't really for all of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, but I ain't going to be no Republican. Why not? Can I tell you something? I'm going to tell you something. I got to do it. I got to do it because it's just a sense of keeping it real. I just got to keep it real. So A.J. Johnson was here. And, as much as I pleaded with him to at least listen to me, to at least consider what we as an audience had to offer to help that community be successful, abandon the party that has kept them impoverished for so long, to actually think outside of the Democrat box. When he got up and he walked out of here, the first thing he said? Man, I'm going to get hell for that. I'm going to get hell for being here. And I went, but aren't we supposed to be saving lives? And he said, yeah, you're right. We have to save lives. And I wish that people in these communities could see it the way a firefighter does, or a police officer does, or someone in the military like the Marines. I wish they could see it like that. I wish they could see it when everyone else is running away. That guys like Reverend A.J. Johnson could run towards the fire. That's what I wish. That when people start saying, hey, man, you talking to that Republican black guy? And you say, yeah. You know anything about him? You see anything did you see what he did? Have you even talked to him? Have you ever listened to him? Have you ever considered? Are we here to save lives? Or are we here to play sides? Are we here to cater to everybody else who has led us astray and led us down a stupid trail of nothing, a trail of begging, trail of people only coming to see us on during election time, giving us crumbs? Wouldn't it be great if we were actually self-sufficient? What if we actually could forge our own destinies? We were reliant on no one, that they actually cared about our vote because we held it from them. That they couldn't come here and placate us with crumbs every time they needed us. And we just showed up while we continue to live in poverty and squalor, waiting for the next handout. These people want anarchy, and they want these folks to live with this anarchy for one reason, because they're afraid to go in the other direction. They keep them in fear because keeping them in fear keeps them, I don't know, it keeps them to heal. That's what it is. That's all it is. And I don't know how a strong group of people, and I've talked to them, I've talked to every one of them, and they try to convince me over and over again, I'm a strong man, I'm a strong woman, I could think for myself. And then I catch them repeating the same old stupid lines. Everything the Democrat Party tells them. Chris Murphy says something, these bozos repeat it. Jim Himes says something, these bozos repeat it. Verbatim, it's easy, and they know it too. Oh, Jim Himes and all of them, they know it too. Tell our constituents that voting laws and ID laws are Jim Crow 2.0. Then you walk down the street and you're like, are you for voter ID? That's Jim Crow 2.0. Where'd you hear that? That's what I think. Yeah, you folks have an original thought. Anyway, I'm going off on a tear. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Whether it's because of discomfort, lack of mobility, lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively for way too many hours a day. It's terrible for your health. It's time to add some extra steps to your day. Introducing Ellipse One, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases your mobility, and boosts circulation without physical impact. It's the easiest exercise you'll ever do. Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work. Just plug it in, place your feet, select your speed, and relax. Ellipse does all the work for you. Call now and order Ellipse One, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Get the faster motor for 6 miles worth of steps per hour, the step counter, the non-slip sport mat, and the wireless remote. Call 1-800-757-7030. That's 1-800-757-7030 or visit us at ellipse-1.com now. FSA, HSA eligible. Order today.
Pete Sweeney, Director of Operations at United Tool and Die Company in West Hartford, is glad Tab Computer Systems Patrol Dog is on duty.
We get complete monitoring from Tab through Patrol Dog, monitors our servers and provides Tab with an alert, and in turn they advise us when there's an issue.
Tab's Patrol Dog is also on guard against suspicious emails.
We also have the email monitoring where Patrol Dog quarantines any suspicious emails and notifies the users ahead of time.
Patrol Dog is just one of the reasons Pete switched to Tab, the ASP, actual service provider of MSPs. As one of the world's top-ranked MSPs according to Channel Futures, Tab actually provides superior IT services month to month with no long-term contracts. By switching to Tab, Pete Sweeney is saving his company thousands.
I would 100% recommend Tab.
Call Tab at 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, or visit tabinc.com. Technology's advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
If you love sports, this is the show for you. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the free Odyssey app and YouTube at The Costos. Bringing you the biggest NFL news, guests, and notes from the offseason while getting you ready to win the madness of college hoops. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Live and interactive, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere for sports talk from people who love sports.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Like I said, at 4 o'clock, Police Union President James Ratowski will be on the program. We'll talk to him about my conversation a little more than a week ago, about a week ago, with Reverend A.J. Johnson and, of course, all of the other organizations that have been pushing back on the police as of late because of the 2 shootings of mentally ill people, one named Everard Walker and the other Stevie Jones. So we'll talk to him about that. What is the reaction to those claims by the police department and, of course, the union? He has put out a couple of press releases that have been posted on, I think WTNH has posted the most, or at least posted the response by the police union. So we'll get to him so we can ask him a bunch of questions about that and about the events that took place. James and I spoke 2 Sundays ago, I want to say. 2 Saturdays ago, I apologize. We spoke extensively about what went on, especially in the Stevie Jones situation. And I got a lot of background on that case. So I'll see what he can talk about here when we ask him. As it relates to the officer that was involved, the events as they led up to it. I know everybody's seen the video, but there's, that as much as people think that that's enough, it's not. And I've got a lot of other questions that are related to that. Another note on this thing with liberals not owning up to the things that they morally, or that are morally contradictory to what they believe. And that is, they have strength in numbers in the sense of they can really rally their troops, even on things that most of those folks disagree with, because they have one rallying cry. They have one rallying cry, and that is MAGA, or is it Trump, or if it's Republicans, but they all see those things as one and the same. All right, so it doesn't matter. You can say Republicans, they know you mean MAGA. You can say Trump, you know you mean his supporters. You can say MAGA, you can say you mean Trump and Republicans. That's what they, and they are good at just unifying. I want to say one more thing based upon the question I had yesterday, and that is to Connecticut Republicans. Those of you who are, for lack of a better word, the moral compass of the Republican Party, who are running around talking about who's a rhino, who's a fake Republican, who doesn't meet your standard. I want to know one thing. Where is your winning streak? I posted on X, I want you to tell me how this strategy wins. Because the rest of us don't know. We don't see it that way. The rest of us do not understand it. And I agree with you. I don't think that we should just join ranks like the Democrats do. They'll join ranks no matter what. And I understand criticizing the positions of any of the candidates. But one, it's not being done respectfully, in my view, at all. I've heard I've seen a lot of wild things said. It's not done respectfully. And I keep asking the simple question. Where's this winning? Tell me it's a winning strategy. And I know that no one does. And get mad at me. I don't care if you get mad at me. I don't care. You want to give me? You think that in some way I'm against you for pointing it out? Okay. If you want to be so angry, and I think that's kind of what it is, if you really want to be that angry, and if I don't agree with you, then all of a sudden I draw your ire, okay. Fine. I mean, blow it up. Seriously. If that's what you want to do, just blow up the entire Republican Party and then live here and then complain about it. And I think that's what the deal is. I truly do. It is, I'm going to say it. Hi, my name is Reese, and I'm an alcoholic. And I spent a lot of my life damaging everything around me because I couldn't stand the life that I was living. I hated everything about my life, so I destroyed everyone else's around me because I was miserable. And I said, hey, why should I be the only person who's miserable? Everybody should be as miserable as I am. And I'm pretty sure that if I keep spreading that misery, one day I'll win. And it was until I realized that I wasn't winning. I was falling deeper and deeper into that sinkhole, and I wasn't getting out. Just a thought. Maybe we'll get there, maybe not. I'm hoping, but you know what? I can't control that. I'm doing my best. Let's get to the top of the hour news. John Silva is there. He's in the WTIC newsroom. We'll be back.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 3 o'clock, 41 degrees under partly sunny skies. We'll keep the sunshine with the clouds and the temps in the 40s. All the forecast details coming up. Quite a bit of a difference few hours makes. It was a wild night and early Tuesday morning across Connecticut with high winds and heavy rain bringing down tree limbs and knocking out power for thousands of customers. At present, there are about 16,365 Eversource customers without power in the utilities service area. At one point, nearly 24 state roads also were closed. The number has dropped some, but there are still numerous back roads and side streets that may still be blocked as a result of the trees and the power lines that did come down yesterday. Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, has announced his resignation. He says he cannot, in good conscience, back the administration's war in Iran.
This is the highest ranking and first U.S. official to resign, citing the war in Iran, but also the pretenses in which the war in Iran began. Joe Kent, who was the director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center, in a letter that he just put on Truth Social and on X, said that Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel.
Kent was an ardent supporter of Trump, who said today,
But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was.
legislation signed by Governor Lamont protects workers at large warehouses like those owned by Amazon. Lieutenant Governor Bysowitz says the bill keeps track of performance quotas.
The bill sets essential guardrails by prohibiting quotas that interfere with meal breaks, bathroom access, or that rely solely on pitting one employee against another.
One of the goals is fewer injuries on the job. Critics complain the bill was passed as part of a larger emergency certification package and didn't receive a proper public hearing this year. Supporters say there was a public hearing last year when a similar bill passed the House, but never came up for a vote in the Senate. Man's under arrest in connection with a shooting that took place on Friday in New Haven. Police say 29-year-old Xavion Battle shot a woman during an argument while intoxicated. The victim sustained gunshot wound to the arm, was taken to the hospital for treatment. As for Battle, he faces charges of assault, reckless endangerment, and unlawful discharge of a firearm, among other offenses. Storms in the eastern half of the nation have done a number on flights that have been canceled, but so too are TSA workers who haven't been paid since the partial government shutdown and either call out sick or quit. Chris Van Cleve has more.
The vast majority of TSA officers are on the job, but those sick calls are growing by the day as some simply can't afford to come to work. The disruptions are spotty, but becoming more common. And now some airports are urging flyers to arrive here 3, even 4 hours before their flights.
FlightAware reports 1,000 cancellations and 4,000 delays just today. WTIC News Time approaching 3:04, checking traffic. As we mentioned, still a number of street closures as a result of the storms. A few of them include Portland's Route 17, closed in both directions at Bartlett due to a downed tree. We also have 74 in Ashford closed at Cramp Road, that also due to a downed tree. 244 in Eastford is closed in both directions at Boston Turnpike. In Lebanon, 289 is closed both ways between Burnham and Bender Roads. Got wires down there. Town of Sterling, 14A, that's closed in both directions between 14 and Gibson Hill Road. Way down in Lower Fairfield County in Greenwich on the Connecticut Turnpike, we've got backups beginning at exit 2, extending to exit 4, about 2 miles worth, due to a crash involving a truck in the right lane there. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Following last night's rainy weather, blustery, chilly weather has been the rule on this St. Patrick's Day, and it will stay chilly and windy the rest of this afternoon. Sunshine to some clouds, high 44, feeling colder with the wind. Partly cloudy tonight, breezy and cold, low 23. The cold day coming up tomorrow, though not quite as windy as today. Mixture of clouds and sunshine at high of 38. Turning out mostly cloudy tomorrow night, again cold, low 23. The cold will begin to ease up on Thursday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 45 degrees. And cloudy Thursday night, maybe a few snow flurries, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, not as cold, high 52. Heading into the weekend, cloudy Saturday, high 53. Could be a shower or two in the area Saturday night, low 42. Sunday, cloudy and becoming breezy. Maybe a couple of showers, high 57. Back to chilly weather on Monday, mostly sunny and breezy, the high of 44. I'm Bob Lawrence of the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 91 points, the NASDAQ's up 90, and the S&P is up 19. 41 sunny skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and for your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impact it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Hey, we're back, and as you may have heard in the top of the hour news and elsewhere, that the director of National Counterterrorism Center, Joseph Kent, has resigned from the Trump administration. Here's a part of his resignation letter. He says, President Trump, after much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it's clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you've campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024, which you enacted in your first term until June of 2025. You understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Qasem Soleimani and by defeating ISIS. So he went on to say all of that, and people have been making very knee-jerk reactions to this resignation, as they would. Jim Himes was one of them. You know, he was surprised. Oh, Donald Trump's not getting what we want. Oh, the people resigned. I want to share a couple of things with you so that you know. This guy, Jim Himes, Jim Himes, Joe Kent, I apologize. He was very different a while back. This was an article that he had written about his first wife dying. And his wife was killed. And here's what he wrote. I want to just point this out, that it's very important. He wrote an opinion piece for NBC News. It said, my wife died fighting ISIS under President Trump's order. How he reacted won my respect. And now he cites that the reason why he's leaving is because his first wife, had died fighting for ISIS. I guess, whatever the case may be, I don't know. He changed his mind. I don't know. Here's another thing that Joe Kent also wrote. I want to get to that. Let me see if I have that here. No, it's not there. And yeah, well, this one, I'll just read it. This was a X post. Iran has been after Trump since January of 2020, after he ordered the targeted killing of terrorist Soleimani. This isn't a new threat, he wrote. The Secret Service consistently failing to secure Trump is new. We need to figure out exactly why these failures keep happening. Now, this was from 2024, September 25th of 2024. That's what Joe Kemp wrote. And just in case you see a lot of people ranting and raving about how strong and courageous Joe Kent is, I want you to remember this headline, which I will read to you now, is that when Joe Kent was being confirmed, they wrote in Fast Forward, Trump's nominee to lead counterterrorism efforts has white nationalist ties. So going back to my original point, that Joe Kent being a white nationalist was enough to disqualify him. His resignation letter will get him songs of praise. Isn't that interesting? Only proving once again there is no integrity on the left. Agree with us. I mean, the man could be a all-out Klan member, and these folks would embrace him if he called Donald Trump Nazi. They would rally around him. They would hold parades for him. He will be on all of the MS Now and CNN shows immediately. They will say, we commend your courage, Joe Kent. Do you want to know the dirty secret? Let me tell you the dirty secret. Joe Kent was a leak. He was a leaker. Yes, he was. And everyone knew he was a leaker. And he was being boxed out of important meetings because they had figured out he was the leak. And when he was boxed out and he found out he was no longer useful as a deep state operative, he resigned because no one would trust him with anything. Donald Trump responded after he received the letter. Here's what he said.
I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it. And many people, many of the greatest military scholars are saying for years that presidents should have taken out Iran because they wanted a nuclear weapon. They were, if we didn't do the attack, or if, I'll go a step further, if I didn't terminate the Iran nuclear deal given to us, one of the worst deals ever made by Barack Hussein Obama. Remember when they sent Boeing 757s over there, loaded with cash? Hundreds of millions of dollars. You would have been very happy. This was a wonderful, they said hundreds of millions. People forget that. Does anybody remember? Right? You remember. Hundreds of millions of dollars in a Boeing 757. I think they had two of them loaded. They took the seats out and they put cash. And it was so much that there wasn't a bank in Virginia, Maryland, or D.C. that had any money left. They stripped them of all their money, put it into place, sent it to Iran, almost as ransom.
Do you notice what he did there? Do you notice what Donald Trump did there? He completely changed the story. He just immediately went from, yeah, I read his letter. I thought he was a nice enough guy. Now let me get to Barack Hussein Obama. He made it all about that. That these people weren't a threat is a joke. It's a joke. Everybody knows it's a joke. But I love the way the people were just like, oh, he abandoned the Trump administration. Hooray! So typical. And it's interesting. There was a quote yesterday that Greg Gutfeld said. Let me see if I can find it here. Because I wrote it down. I stopped the video on the 5, and he said this. And I shouldn't even be revealing this strategy to the left, but you should know. Here's what he said. Once you are imprisoned by your ideology, the enemy knows how to play you. You understand that? Once you are imprisoned by your ideology, the enemy knows how to play you. And as soon as I saw the news, I said I knew exactly what the left was going to do. Celebrate him. They would forget. And again, you know how you guys are always asking, it's like, how could they be hypocrites? Like, these people are, because none of that matters. They have made it acceptable within their own ranks to look directly in your face and switch gears at any given moment. Let me see if I could find this video. And I wanted to play it last week. And let me see. It is, I know I had it here. I'm praying that I remember where it is. This young lady was talking about Donald Trump and his authority to go to war in Iran. And the fact that the woman clearly didn't know what she was talking about and couldn't remember when, let me see, is this what, no, that's not it. I should have kept it up. I probably removed it, and I feel horrible now because it's such a great illustration. I'm going to try to find it, but it is a perfect illustration of the sort of accepted hypocrisy of the left, that they never have to stick to one point of view. They are allowed to flip anytime they want to. And this is very typical. Was this? No, Hasselbeck was something different. I've got to find it. I'm so upset that I cannot find it. And I thought I saved it here. Anyway, I'll look for it. Maybe I'll play it at another break. But this woman was being asked by one of those man on the streets talking about Donald Trump and going to war in Iran. And this woman said, no, I think that it's illegal. I think it's wrong. And then he quotes Donald Trump's reasoning. And he says, do you think that's legitimate? And she says, no, I don't think it's legitimate. He goes, well, what if I told you that was actually President Obama? And she says, well, then it would have been legitimate. Just right there. It doesn't matter. Because, again, they don't have any integrity. Because in order for them to stand for anything, they have to fall for everything. That's how it works. And you can lay this stuff out. As I did with my conversation yesterday with Jenny, as I was trying to explain to her. I cannot believe this. This is funny because in the middle of the conversation, she was talking about during the Obama administration, the world was peaceful. And I went, Libya doesn't count. Syria doesn't count. And she was like, damn, you really remember this. I'm like, yeah, I don't. I mean, I do remember. You don't. You don't remember this stuff. You know? There's this sort of, it's not even the departure of all of this insanity, but what really drives me through the roof is the ease in which they can do it. And then get angry at the fact that when everything that they say and believe falls apart. And that's all I want. It's just, let's say, if I could ask for anything, I'm sure you would too, is to just seed that ground. You know what? I shouldn't have that opinion because, I don't know much about it. And then at least hold them to at least learn something about it. That would be helpful. Selective recollection, Lori calls it. That's so true. It is selective recollection in so many ways. All right, like I said, coming up, we've got James Ratowski, the president of the Hartford Police Union, will be here at 4 o'clock. Send your best wishes to Roseanne. Her throat is killing her. I've never heard her so raspy in my life. And it's not the good raspy. It's like that kind of raspy. It's really, really bad. I've never heard her like that before in my life. I almost felt bad about leaving. Hopefully she'll feel better today or tomorrow. I can't wait for her to be here on Friday. I got so much stuff I need to cover. Let's go to Tony in Southington. Hello, Tony.
Hey, how's it going, Reese? I haven't talked to you in a while, buddy.
I know. What's up, buddy?
Good, man. Oh, I just figured I'd throw this quick one out there at you. So, you could throw this out at your audience or whatever, or use it in the future. But, yeah, I was on social media, on Instagram. You know, I probably made a positive comment about Venezuela and Iran and what Trump's doing. Yeah. And, a liberal fired back at me with saying, I hope you take a bullet really soon because you're the scumbag of the earth like Charlie Kirk. And it's like they get away with posting that on, social media. It shows you how biased social media is.
Yes.
Well, at least I'm speaking of Instagram. But, how are they able to say stuff like that?
Do you know what's crazy?
Held accountable.
You're so right, because remember when I got my ban because I said, if you believe you need a passport to go into Applebee's but not one to come into the country, punch yourself in the face. And they called that self-harm. I was promoting self-harm, and I got banned for 6 months.
Oh,
but
no way, dude. Yeah.
And then someone makes...
probably perfect. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and then someone makes that kind of comment towards you, and they look at it and they go, no, that seems okay to me. It's absolutely crazy.
So I talked some professional trash back to him and says, I'll be waiting for another ignorant comment from somebody who's uneducated and stupid, typical liberal. I was like, don't worry. Hopefully Trump will reinstate the insane asylum for you. Or you should be held accountable for such an absurd, comment like that. It's always you guys that get away with murder, literally. Yeah.
I don't, I
dude.
said this a long time ago, Tony, and I said this before, if not immediately after. Well, no, actually I did. I said it before. I said the results of the 2024 election being a rejection of every liberal ideology that had forced down our throats during the Biden administration. Now that the country had rejected it, I asked the question, do you believe that the left will finally realize the error in its ways and sort of join us? Because they have no choice. It's either start showing up somewhere in the middle or at least some sort of centrist left ideology. And I said no, because for them, the only way is down. Why? Because it's never about moderating. It's about doubling down. And it's going that, the world just became more and more racist. It became more and more violent. And the only way that they can respond is with violence. And what did we get for that? Exactly what you saw. This absolute sort of not just doubling down, but this sort of abandonment of decorum. And it got worse and worse. And it will continue. Because that's what happens when you cannot argue or debate what the facts are. And when you're allowed to be a hypocrite, in essence, if you're allowed to change your positions no matter what day or what time it is, and that kind of anarchy, what you get from it is a sort of, I would say, an anarchy-like mindset, which just means we got to blow it all up. And that's where we are.
Oh, you're exactly right. You nailed it on the head. It's just disgusting that things are so lopsided, one-sided. There's favoritism. And, dude, you know what? I know that, Reese, that, the left has leverage because, social media, most of mainstream media is a special interest group with the Democrat Party, and they let them get away with murder literally and figuratively, bro.
They're very, very angry, Tony. That's what it is. Again, if you can't control your own anger, just blame it on everybody else for having it. That's the way it is.
Yeah, but they nail me if I was to say something violent in return. I'd be arrested in cuffs
Tony, this is the most important thing to do. As I said to my ex-wife, never ever be the person you think I am. Be the person you are. That's all. You have to be who you are.
Awesome.
Let them be who they are, and then you be who you are. Unless, of course, it's necessary. In that case, you got to fight fire with fire.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, I handle everything professionally.
There you go.
You don't have to worry about me, but I'm on our team, bro.
Thank you, buddy.
So, have a good evening, my friend.
Thank you, sir. You too. And Tony's a good guy. I look. When you know there are no rules, there are no rules. That's the most important thing to consider. That it is. And I know a lot of us have to have rules in our daily lives. We need to. It's like everybody always asks, how do we combat this if people are always going to go one step further down the abyss? Like, how do we respond to that? We only have to be who we are. And we also have to be ready for who they are. We know that they lay out their playlist, so to speak, right in front of you. Their playbook, that's the word I'm looking for. They lay it out to you every day. They're not shy about it. And it's echoed and supported by the mainstream media. And it's only when they're forced to react to it that they sort of retract. Tellerico's I'm going to talk about him tomorrow because not that it's important. I mean, it's all the way out in Texas. It's no big deal. And this bozo can't win if he tried. It's so bad that guy is going to lose. And yet everyone is propping him up like he's some sort of winner about to happen in Texas. Oh, that's so awful. Well, we'll get to that tomorrow. When we come back, voting for food. James O'Keefe just released a video today, about paying for votes. And we had one of those cases right here in Connecticut. And it's funny that no one's really paying attention to the tactics of the left in blue states because it seems to argue this fact that it is a supermajority in the state. We'll talk about that when we return. Stand by. It's Reese On The Radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with your 2026 tax tips. If you had a baby last year, you're entitled to open a Trump account. That's a new type of retirement account where the government deposits $1,000 in an account for every American child born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028. Although these accounts will not officially launch until July, you can get a head start and enroll when you file your taxes. Just use the newly created IRS Form 4547. And if you are seeking additional ways to save for college or education, you might consider starting a 529 plan. These are tax-efficient plans that sometimes even offer a state income tax deduction.
Tax season can be overwhelming, but UHY makes it simple. Our professionals provide comprehensive tax advisory services to help individuals and businesses stay compliant and save money. Call our Farmington office at 860-530-6949 or visit farmingtoncpa.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. Some municipalities still picking up the pieces from the mess left behind from stormy weather last night and early this morning. Still thousands of Eversource customers without service, with some roads blocked due to downed trees, limbs, and power lines. Police have arrested an axe-wielding suspect in New Haven. Just after 11:30 Monday morning, officers responded to a business in the 500 block of Grand Street. They say 45-year-old Taiwan Grooms smashed a window, grabbed the axe, then proceeded to smash windows at other random businesses. When police confronted him, Grooms refused to drop the axe. He was apprehended following a brief struggle and now faces a host of charges, including carrying a dangerous weapon, criminal mischief, and burglary. Also in New Haven, arrest in a Friday shooting, 29-year-old Xavion Battle. They say he shot a woman during an argument while intoxicated and is now charged with reckless endangerment, assault, and other offenses. The woman was treated for an arm injury. Nursing home where a resident wandered away and was found dead in a snowbank on a sub-zero morning last month is closing. Bickford Health in Windsor Locks looking to place residents after the facility was ordered shuttered. It was last month. 93-year-old Peggy Healy walked out of a back entrance and was found hours later. President Trump pushing back against claims by the director of the National Counterterrorism Center about the motivations for the Iran war. In announcing his resignation, Kent claimed that Iran posed no threat to the U.S. President says Iran is a tremendous threat. Kent also said it was clear the U.S. started the war due to pressure from Israel. The president previously denied Israel forced the U.S. to act. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Blustery cold weather on this St. Patrick's Day. A mixture of clouds and sunshine and windy. I-44, the wind making you feel colder. Brisk and cold tonight, partly cloudy, low 23. Cold tomorrow, mixture of clouds and sunshine. High just 38. Will stay cold tomorrow night, rather cloudy, low 23. Thursday, mixture of clouds and sunshine. Not as cold in the afternoon, with the high reaching 45. The temperatures will climb above 50 on Friday. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
40 degrees, sunny skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Brian Shackman here for CertaPro Painters. I don't know about you, but a fresh coat of paint makes me feel good. That's why you might want to get in touch with the folks at CertaPro Painters. And now is a good time. Ask about their spring sales event. That's 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. And they can do inside, they can do outside. They did our kitchen. Man, they were timely, they were clean, and they were so respectful to everybody in our family. CertaPro Painters, by the way, independently owned and operated right here in our community. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. Again, that's Certa with a C.
UConn's Silas Demery Jr. knows what it takes to win on offense and defense.
Winning isn't luck. It's hustle, discipline, and showing up every day.
That mindset drives BPS lawyers too, fighting for clients in personal injury, family law, litigation, and more.
I'm Nick Payne-Deris. At BPS Lawyers, we're one full-service firm. All your legal needs, always.
BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lenseek.
NVIDIA and Meta Platforms unveiled an AI infrastructure partnership in which the Facebook and Instagram parent is going to use NVIDIA's data center processors, including NVIDIA's new Grace semiconductors. Meta has also adopted NVIDIA's confidential computing to enhance AI privacy features in WhatsApp. Meta plans to spend up to $135 billion on AI data centers this year. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to Lenseek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. Lenseek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. Lenseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Are you struggling with hearing loss? Do friends and family complain that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to repeat themselves? If you want to hear clearly again, but don't want a bulky hearing aid that makes you look old, you need to try Atom X by Audion Hearing. The Atom X is a life-changing breakthrough, precisely designed by top audio engineers, fits comfortably in your ear, is nearly invisible, and lets you adjust your sound so you can hear conversations clearly, at home, at dinner, or on the go. And right now, you can try the Atom X risk-free for 45 days. Call Audion Hearing now at 800-295-HEAR. That's HEAR for a 45-day risk-free home trial with free shipping and money-back guarantee. The Atom X is lightweight, rechargeable, practically invisible, and costs 90% less than prescription hearing aids. Don't miss out. Call 800-295-HEAR for complete details. That's 800-295-4327. Hearing for everyone. Audion Hearing.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
Well, we're back. Reese on the Radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. Again, still looking for those phone calls, folks. It's not a one-day thing. Number's 860-522-WTIC. You know, I want to talk to the people who can't stand the Republican candidates who are running, and I want to hear about a winning strategy, like who are we voting for. I got this great text message, actually voicemail message. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Email message from a listener. He went to reseontheradio.com. You could do it too. Just go to reseontheradio.com, scroll to the bottom, and leave a comment. And he was writing about some of the polls that, you know, people are calling up from Lamont's office to sort of get the temperature of certain things, certain issues. And the things that they were discussing were about, you know, rent, and they were reaching out to affordability stuff anyway, but they were reaching out to, quote, unaffiliated people. And that's no, you know, there's no gotcha there. But Lamont believes that unaffiliated means up for grabs. I would. That's the reason why I asked the question. What does it mean? I know a lot of people are promoting it. I'm unaffiliated. I asked the question. Okay, this means what? I've said this, and this is, but it's not a new thing, folks. In my 20s, I asked the question when independence became a thing. I would ask people, this means what? Well, I'm an independent. I'm not affiliated with a party. I was like, oh, okay. And that means what? Well, I don't want to be a party. I want to be part of the Democrats and Republicans. I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? And then they get into the weeds, and this is my favorite part. They would say, well, I have some conservative leanings, and I have some liberal leanings. Okay. All right. Where are you liberal? And, of course, they start jotting them down. Well, I'm pro-choice, and I want health care for all, and, I have some problems with capitalism. Okay, all right, well, talk to me about your conservative leanings. Well, all of a sudden there's a struggle. In fact, some of them didn't seem to know exactly what conservative leanings were. Seemed to be lost on what conservatism is. Which let me know right off the bat, you just don't want to be called a liberal. Probably because you know it has negative vibes or connotations with it. I'm cool with that. So I used to call them wusses who wouldn't admit. They wouldn't admit that they were left. And that's cool, too. It's all right. By the way, I found this the piece that I was looking for. This woman, obviously an Obama supporter, she's being asked by a man on the street, what do you think about the war in Iran? How do you feel about it? And, of course, she's against it because she's against Trump.
Yeah, I do.
What do you think of Trump's Iran strike so far?
I'm totally against it.
Why are you against him?
I don't think he had any foresight in what he was doing. For example, Iran proceeding to attack all their neighboring countries. I think it could lead to a world war.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Would you call it an illegal war? Because some people are calling it that because he doesn't have congressional approval.
Well, it's certainly extrajudicial. Yeah, I think it's probably a legal war. He doesn't get congressional approval for anything, so he's totally an illegal president, in my opinion.
Well, if this was the Trump administration's justification, this is what he said was the reason for the strikes. The president had the constitutional authority to direct the use of military force on Iran because he could reasonably determine that such use of force was in the national interest. Does that sound convincing to you?
Of course not. He has not gotten congressional approval. He's taken upon the responsibility upon himself to make that decision.
Now, again, to a lot of people on the left, they're probably going, yeah.
What if I told you that this was actually the Obama administration's justification for bombing Libya for 7 months?
And you would say, probably the same as this woman.
Well, then that was perfectly okay.
What, do you think so? Was that illegal and was that dangerous?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't remember enough about that to really offer an opinion on it.
Do you think that was an illegal war?
I just told you I don't remember enough about it. I have to know more about it and refresh my memory.
He conducted strikes in Libya, bombings, cut off the entire airspace for 7 months, killed a lot of people without congressional approval. Similar situation, perhaps?
I don't know.
Again, like I said, when there are no rules, there are no rules. I hate having to explain that to people all the time. And people on the left know it's true. You are allowed to be a hypocrite. That's all, because, there is no measure. Just is. How do I know that? Let's go. Anybody remember a story last November? This one was a story in Connecticut involving allegations of a local political campaign providing meals to homeless individuals in exchange for their votes. In November 2025, the New Haven Independent reported on accusations against Ward 3 Alder candidate named Miguel Pittman in New Haven. Multiple people experiencing homelessness came forward claiming that they voted for Pittman in return for a warm meal. And there were also claims of falsifying addresses and other irregularities to facilitate their voting. At least 3 individuals described as being given food, like a meal, as an incentive tied to casting a vote for him. This appears to stem from a local municipal election efforts rather than anything that was statewide, so we're not trying to say that. But no evidence turned up at the, to the state that Connecticut was directly paying or feeding homeless people. But the homeless individuals never recanted and never suggested that the story wasn't true, which then leads us to California. You may have seen that there was a video caught where homeless people were asked to vote for a referendum to get it on the ballot, a ballot measure, and to lie about who they were on the application. There's one video showing a man signing a ballot measure under a woman named Carol. You hear the woman explaining to him, okay, now you're Carol at this address, and paying them as much as $5. James O'Keefe has a whole video out about it now, which again I keep asking the question over and over again. Why are people cheating on the left in a dark blue state? I never get any answers to this. No one ever wants to address it. On either side. Nobody on the left, nobody on the right ever wants to address it. Cannot tell me how that's possible. It's a solid blue state. Every Democrat should waltz it. In fact, they should just walk in on election day and say, that's all right, I'm the mayor. It's a blue state. Give me the job. Come on, give me the job. Well, who's running? A Republican? Nah, that's not going to work here. Don't worry about it. Nobody's a Republican here in this state. Just give me the job. What are we holding elections for? I'm running. I'm a Democrat. I win. Why don't we see it? No. We see cheating. We got Wanda Pataki. What are we seeing all that for? How's that happening? Why is even anybody cheating? You give it a homeless people meal? Like, it's gotten so bad that we're feeding the homeless for votes. Huh? That's where we are? And everyone at the same time is telling me, we've got no shot here. Just looking at it. I don't know whether or not, maybe, am I looking at it with fresh eyes? Or maybe you've seen it so often that you're just glazed over. You're driving blindly. And you're just like, Reese, it's corrupt, man. What are you going to do? I have this impression, and this is probably going to sound a little messed up. And I know it is. It's going to sound a little braggy. I'm patting myself on the back here. I really do. I grew up with this sense, like when I actually started to see that if I put my back into it, that I could actually achieve stuff, but I actually started seeing the results, I started to believe anything was possible. I was like, every time you put the effort in, you actually get it done. And people will ask me stuff, and I'm just like, okay, you know what? Let me think about this for a little while. I think we can actually do this. Start doing it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, this is working. Let's do more of that. I want more. Double down. Let's go crazy. I do. On the other hand, I can understand why some people are going, yeah, why not? Nothing's going to change. And after a while, you just go over and over again, and after a while, it just starts zipping by you. Another corrupt one. Oh, another corrupt one. Oh, another corrupt one. And you just get tired, and you just, I get it. It's okay. You need a win. I know. You need a win. You need one of these people, these sons of brain surgeons, you need them to pay. Then you'll see it, right? It's like being a Jets fan. That's what it is. That's what it is. You're suffering. You have Jet fan syndrome, like I do. Every day I keep saying to myself, every year I keep saying to myself, I'm not going to root for them again. I'm not going to get my heart broken again. And then they win a game, and I go, okay, maybe there's hope. It's difficult. Even when they bring in a guy like Geno Smith, even when they bring him back, I thought about it for a little while and I said, I don't know, he could be good. I don't know why. I know. But guess what? If they do great, guess what you're going to be saying, Roland? You're going to be saying, see, you should have never given up. Right? That's what you'll be saying. If they turn out to be a playoff contender, you'll be saying, see, you should have never bowed out. That's what having faith is all about. All right, whatever. Stand by. We'll come back. We'll take some phone calls. We get into so much stuff. James Ratowski is on his way. He says he's about 5 minutes late, but that's fine. He's got plenty of time to get here. We'll be back with him and much, much more when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, brain fog, low sex drive, and it makes it tough to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is important to our overall health and well-being. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if some or all of those symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. But more than this, we can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I need to give a shout out to our sponsor, ZipRecruiter. They may never be able to switch commercials ever again. That theme song is so groovy and so cool. It is like, if they do enough, I know the campaign's going to end and they're going to move on and do something new, but people are going to remember that darn R&B song forever, and people are going to miss it when it's gone. It's just, it's too catchy. It's too well done.
You know what happened, right?
What happened?
They did go away from it. For 2 weeks, it was in here.
Really?
And they went to a different commercial, and people, I think, complained about it.
They had to have.
And they canceled that commercial and brought this
and brought
back.
it back.
Yep.
Look at that. I think
this is a catchy jingle.
It
man.
is catchy.
I'm in here with my sticks playing drums.
It's one of those things that, you know, whoever the marketing guy behind that in the R&B song, whoever pitched it, it's a gold mine for them. Absolute gold mine. Let me get to the phones real quick. I want to take Peter in West Hartford. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Reese, how are you?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
So you touched base on, presidential campaign and who people are excited to see and things like that, conservatism. So I'm a conservative from West Hartford. Not sure if you're familiar with the area, but it's a little of an oddball to have.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
And, kind of everybody's looking at either J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio as kind of like the lead presidential. I'm a little upset not to see Vivek Ramaswamy kind of getting back into it, just because I think he's one of the only candidates that truly understands what conservatism is to its roots.
Okay.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with him or,
I am. I'm pretty familiar, yeah.
So on why you think he might not be trying to take a stab at it again now when he did, last election.
I think what Vivek was able to do was to start off with a national campaign to run locally. What I mean by that is like sort of create. I never thought that Marco Rubio, not Marco Rubio, I apologize. Vivek Ramaswamy had a snowball's chance in hell in combating the momentum behind Donald Trump in 2024. However, he could be such a standout that when he ran for governor in Ohio, that he would have the name recognition that would oppose any opponent in that state, which I think was a great strategy for him. Because you think about it, Vivek is a national figure.
Yeah, so you think he was just kind of laying it up for a governor run.
Exactly.
To lead to a presidential campaign.
Exactly. And remember, he's also young enough to do become governor of Ohio and then run, which is again one of the states you need in order to become president of the United States. You got to carry Ohio and Florida. So talk about putting yourself in pole position.
Yeah, I mean maybe he's playing the long run. Big thing with him and kind of what it goes back to like founding fathers is none of them were politicians.
Right.
There was no such thing back then.
That's
Trump,
right.
Vivek, they're both businessmen, so looks like we need more of that.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's funny because a lot of people I know on either side of the aisle very much like him. Even if they disagree with him, they like him. He's charismatic.
Right. Nobody really likes politicians.
Very true. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, Reese.
You got it. All right, let's get our first check of traffic and weather. Our good friend Mark Christopher. He is at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays getting by exit 36 in Windsor. Again, 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Westbound 84 slows approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. Eastbound 84 sluggish stop and go. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound's a little slow. Harbor Park up to the Aragodi Bridge. 9 north again is tied up by exit 37 by the 72 interchange in New Britain. Westbound 84 is a little tight, 22 up to the Mixmaster. Good ride 91 in the Parkway heading down in toward New Haven. And there's still quite a few secondary roads shut down with the trees and wires down from last night's heavy winds. So look out for those road closures as you drive around this afternoon. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples. If your workspace needs a spring reset like mine does, now's the time. The Staples Spring Savings Event is happening this week only, with savings up to 50% in-store and online. Plus, join Easy Rewards for free and save even more. Deals end March 21st. Staples. That was easy.
WTIC weather.
Blustery cold weather on this St. Patrick's Day. A mixture of clouds and sunshine and windy. I-44 with the wind making you feel colder. Brisk and cold tonight, partly cloudy, low 23. Cold tomorrow, mixture of clouds and sunshine, high just 38. We'll stay cold tomorrow night, rather cloudy, low 23. Thursday, mixture of clouds and sunshine, not as cold in the afternoon, the high reaching 45. The temperatures will climb above 50 on Friday. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
The well-being of warehouse workers is the focus of legislation signed by Governor Lamont. It prohibits performance quotas that sacrifice on-the-job safety or interference with meal breaks or bathroom access. Sal Abate is with the Teamsters Local 443, which backed the bill, although most warehouse workers are not unionized.
This bill was for the employees of these warehouse workers who don't have the protection, who had to worry about going to a bathroom, getting disciplined, who had to worry about losing their job for unsafe work standards that were put on them.
About 6 states now have laws protecting employees at warehouses like those owned by Amazon. New York and California are included. State lawmakers are considering a bill that would earmark $40 million from a response fund established last year to act as a bridge for beneficiaries of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Many residents either saw their benefits cut or severely reduced, primarily due to the government shutdown last fall. Bristol resident Barbara Gandia among those impacted.
I had to make the difficult decision to apply for the system. I was receiving a SNAP benefit to feed myself and to keep my diet for diabetes and other health conditions. My income is severely limited.
Now, the bill was subject to a public hearing in the legislature's Human Services Committee. President Trump upping the ante to get Senate Republicans to pass the Save America Act. Linda Kenyon is at the White House.
The president calls it, quote, the most important and consequential pieces of legislation in the history of Congress and America itself. The bill sets certain voter ID requirements at the federal level and includes a ban on mail-in ballots. Some Republicans oppose it, saying their voters rely on mail-in ballots. But the president posted, quote, only sick, demented, or deranged people in the House or Senate could vote against the Save America Act. He also wrote, quote, I will never, ever endorse anyone who votes against Save America. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
National average price for a gallon of gas continues to go through the roof. Cammie McCormick is that.
The national average is nearly 90 cents higher than last month. These motorists in Florida.
Prices have gone high, and it looks like they're going to keep on getting higher. So people are going to have to make adjustments.
We're powerless. It's crazy, and it's going to go up.
The national average is $3.79 a gallon, according to AAA.
And in Connecticut, a gallon of regular is averaging $3.67 a gallon, according to the Motor Club. Big mess out there for a while. Still is in some parts of Connecticut. Wild wind, heavy rain helped to bring down tree limbs and power lines. Eversource has had its work cut out for it today. Still about just over 15,000 customers offline. A number of state roads remain closed due to tree and power line damage. And they are trying to make some headway to get those roads reopened. If you can't make it to the pub this St. Patrick's Day, there is a solution. 2 brothers in Massachusetts put together a mobile pub during the pandemic, and they're rolling it out for this holiday. Mark Coate is a customer.
And last year we said, hey, let's do this for St. Patrick's Day, and it was such a hit that we're going to do it every year. And really just a time to kind of forget about whatever's going on in the world and have what pubs are supposed to be. It's for people to come together, connectivity.
About 20 people can raise a glass in the tiny pub, and space can be customized to personally suit the host. On Wall Street, the Dow up 47 points, NASDAQ ahead 105, S&P up 16. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Got a tree causing big trouble in a tiny space? Don't risk it. Call the experts who specialize in the impossible jobs. At Tree Wise Guys of Connecticut, we handle the heavy lifting so you don't have to. From precision limb cutting and stump grinding to full land cleaning and emergency storm damage cleanup. No job is too big and no space is too tight. When it matters most, trust the guys who know trees. Trust Tree Wise Guys of Connecticut. Visit TreeWiseGuysCT.com today to get a free quote on your next project. That's TreeWiseGuysCT.com.
Put those shovels away because spring is finally upon us. Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Everyone knows that spring is the time for rebirth, renewal, and new beginnings. So what better way to welcome in spring than to give your old bathroom and kitchen a fresh start, a new beginning. Visit Modern Plumbing Showroom today on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin. See the latest trends, colors, and styles, and spring into a rebirth for your kitchen and bath.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, I'm here talking to my buddy James Ratowski. He'll be on in a quick moment. We'll talk to him about my conversation with A.J. Johnson. Of course, as you know, about the police shootings that took place a couple of weeks ago. We'll break all that stuff down to him here. He just walked in, so every time he's here, I'm always chatting up with him, talking about a bunch of stuff. Let me take Lori in Glastonbury real quick. Hello, Glory. How are you?
Hey, Reese. I'm sorry to call.
That's okay. You're right.
Soon after yesterday, but you asked about unaffiliated. When I first registered to vote, I didn't know whether or not I was Democrat or Republican. I was, I was 18 years old. I, just wanted to. I was just gung ho to vote. Period. But
Right.
I wasn't sure which side I was going to be on, and I didn't really change my vote until I became even maybe around 30, because I still was kind of like, okay, I'm not exactly sure which party I can really get behind. I knew I couldn't necessarily register Democrat because I didn't agree with a lot of what that's on their platform, but I wasn't sure I was Republican. And then it occurred to me that I can't vote during the primaries.
Oh.
And so at that point, I decided to register as a Republican. But initially, it's just because I was young and just wasn't sure which direction.
Yeah, of course. Nobody knows when you're a kid. Have you ever heard the old political adage, if you're not a liberal at 20, you have no heart, and if you're not a conservative by the time you're 40, you have no brain? That's kind of where most people are in the political sphere, because when you're an idealistic kid in your 20s, people are throwing all of this activism stuff at you. Don't you want to save the whales? Right, save the whales, save the dolphins, save the planet.
Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then you start paying bills and you're like, wait a minute, what is all this crap?
What's FICO?
Right. Who's FICA and why am I paying him? I don't know who this guy is.
I'll never forget. That's one of my favorite lines. Who's FICA and why is he taking so much of my money?
But as an adult, I don't understand. I feel as though being an independent or unaffiliated is a cop-out. It's like, listen, either poop or get off the pop. You either are. You have to commit to something.
Yeah.
You're hedging your bets on everything. And so that just tells me a lot about your character if you can't decide one way or the other what you actually believe to be true.
Indeed. Thank you, Lori, as always.
You're welcome.
You got it. Mark Christopher, he's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 84 eastbound, delays about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue. Stays heavy down to the Bulkley, and then it opens up nicely into East Hartford. Westbound 84, tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford to 47 Sigourney. 91 southbound delays 33, down to 32 A and B. Northbound side of 9, slowing by the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Again, a little slow traffic 9 northbound by the 72 interchange in New Britain. Westbound 84 Waterbury, a little tight from 22 to the Mixmaster. And if you're heading 91 in the Parkway south into New Haven, seeing a good ride there. Also, a lot of the secondary roads in the state right now are dealing with trees and wires down from the last night heavy winds knocked these down. So you're still dealing with a lot of road closures throughout the state. So look out for that. And also look out for an accident on the northbound side of Route 8. It looks like it's just north of exit 15 in Ansonia. So you've got delays there. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
you have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
Chilly and windy the rest of this afternoon. Sunshine, a few clouds, a high of 44. Partly cloudy tonight, brisk and cold, dropping a low of 23 overnight. Cold weather tomorrow. Mixture of clouds and sunshine, a high of only 38. You stay cold tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low 23. Not quite as cold Thursday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 45. Right now it is 39 in Ashford. It's 42 degrees in Manchester and 41 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the all-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. It's time. We're about to go to springtime, and the spring sales event could get you 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. And Serta Pro, those folks are awesome. They're independently owned and operated right here in our community. They did my kitchen. They were there on time. The estimate was excellent, and they did, by the way, a great job. Serta Pro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at certapro.com. That's Serta with a C.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back, and in the studio with us is the president of the Hartford Police Union and good friend James Ratowski is here, as I call him, Ruddy, which is a nickname you didn't ask for, but I just gave you. You're okay with that?
Absolutely.
So you're here. I know you heard the interview with myself and A.J. Johnson, Reverend A.J. Johnson. You've had interactions with him before. You guys know each other, I guess I'm going to say personally.
Not personally, but informally we've had discussions over some of the issues that have come up in Hartford.
Right. Okay. In essence, you know him, but not know him well. So you have to deal with him sort of like in civilian versus police sort of interactions.
Yes.
And he was here, and of course, he had the press conference a little more than a week ago talking about police accountability and making claims that the city of Hartford does not feel safe because of the actions that were taken by police officers in the case with Everard Walker and with Stevie Jones, which is have gotten a lot of people talking, in particular about the Stevie Jones shooting, because the thing that many people on either stripe, people, supporters of police and otherwise, have always been making claims about the 9 shots. And I think that we need to start there because it's important that we have a discussion about what people perceive as excessive versus what is or what isn't procedurally. Because there are people, I guess, who are in police forces saying that it wasn't considered excessive where others are saying that it is. What is your take on this?
This is a difficult topic. And then first and foremost, to the family, condolences. This is a tragic event for, the family, for the community, and even for the officers involved.
Right.
But to go over the 9 shots and civilian, right? You're looking at 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Those, and this is hard for me because I'm going to present some of the science behind human behavior.
Okay.
And people are going to look at that and go, well, of course you're going to do that. You're the union president. You're there to give us this scientific, and then they're going to go, well, that's just BS, and, you're making excuses.
Right.
And it's not. It's what we go through physiologically in this situation. So your 9 shots, just around 2 seconds.
Okay.
2 seconds. Trigger pull, 0.2 seconds. Multiply that times 9. 1.8 seconds, those shots were discharged.
Wow.
So if you look at that, and it was one continuous stream, it wasn't 2, then another 2, then 3, it was 9. One active use of force.
Okay.
So now you have an action, and your body looks at that and goes, okay, I did this. Now you have the review aspect of that coming into presence, going, okay, was it effective? There's a loop. Action, review, stop.
Right.
And if you look at that, his action to review to stop time, based on all the science that is out there, is right in line of him acting appropriately in a lethal threat situation.
I remember having this discussion many, many moons ago when I was, not in radio. I was, just average person. And we were arguing the very famous shooting of Amadou Diallo in the Bronx. This was the guy who pulled out the wallet, but officers mistook it as a weapon.
Yes.
And there were, 51 shots. And I remember talking to a police officer, former police officer working with me. And I remember arguing with him, again, knowing nothing about police work. I'm arguing with a former officer, as many of us do, right? We see things from our own vantage point. And we say, it's like, 51 shots, that's excessive. And then you find out that one officer shoots this amount of times. I think it was one officer shot like 15. And in my head, I'm going, well, that seems excessive. And then he explains it to me. But here was the beauty of my interaction with him, which changed my mind. He took me to a shooting range and explained it to me. He actually showed me what it was like to do that in succession, which I immediately went, oh, like I am not there. All I hear is the words 15 shots. All I hear are the words 51 shots. I am going to make my own assumption based upon that. I think, and because I think it, therefore it's, it's paramount, that is excessive. And that is the kind of conversation I want to have with people. Okay, I hear you saying that the 9 shots is excessive, but what are you taking from that? The event or the number? Like, are you separating the two? Do you think that's what you're seeing in the public? Is that they're separating the incident from the amount of shots?
I think it's and I'll use, when Crump was talking about it, the shock to conscience.
Yes.
And it is. You look at 9 and go, well, what number was appropriate?
Right.
So if he shot him once in the leg and hit the femoral artery and died, would that have been okay?
Great question.
If he was shot in the throat and died with 1 shot, is that okay? It's not like the movies. When you shoot, it isn't like there's that blood splatter and, oh, they're grabbing and what happens. You don't know if your action, it takes time to realize that your action to stop the threat was effective. And within that 2-second to 3-second round of understanding that and processing it, Joe stopped. And contrary to Crump saying, oh, he emptied the clip, no, he didn't.
Right.
We carry a 15-round clip and 1 in the chamber. We have 16 rounds.
Okay.
Joe stopped when he realized the threat was no longer a threat.
What do you do? And I know each scenario in every situation is different, as we had with Everard Walker. When that officer is firing a gun, I think in the Everard Walker case, how many shots were fired in that case when he?
I believe 4 to 5.
4 to 5. Okay, which is, of course, we're talking about an officer, and that officer was on his back, if I'm correct.
Yes, he was
right?
in a sitting down
He was
position.
a sitting down position, yeah. So he's down, and he's got to fire from a considerable distance, which is a lot further than the Stevie shots were.
It's about the same distance.
But, oh, really? Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was very close proximity.
Very close proximity. So one officer decides 5 shots, and you have Joe who decides 9 shots. And again, this is what you're trying to neutralize the threat, I guess, the best way to describe it, which shows you that each officer is going to respond to this differently in that instant, which I'll tell you like this, and I think everybody should consider this. You have an officer in a sitting position, and the only reason why he's in the sitting position on the floor is because he's knocked down. Is that correct?
Yes.
He's knocked down. He sees a threat, and instead of what most people would argue, he doesn't even remotely go to 9 shots. He shoots 4 to 5 times from a sitting position, trying to neutralize a threat that he doesn't know if his shots are effective enough to do so, only shoots 5 times. There is no, as you said earlier, he doesn't shoot 5 times and then looks again and then shoots 3 more or 2 more. There wasn't that going on.
Right.
Why should that be considered in this debate?
That's a very simple answer, because if you look at, again, and condolences to the Walker family for the tragedy also, this is difficult for them to hear, and I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
In that situation, sitting down position, if you look at the video, Mr. Walker falls out of his line of sight, falls away.
Right.
4 or 5 shots, falls forward. Out of, so if he was facing him and coming at him, would he have fired more shots?
Okay. Understood.
Stevie, Mr. Jones, is coming forward. He's not falling out of his line of sight. He's falling into the line of sight. And you have to make the threat assessment were the shots successful?
Mm-hmm.
On the Capitol Avenue incident, he falls out of the line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for more shots because there's no target.
Right.
The target has fallen away from him. In this one, the target is coming forward. Your brain has to process, is he still a threat? Were my shots successful in neutralizing the threat?
Yeah.
Completely different dynamic.
I think that's, and you're right about that. I think that I want to say the departure in this is having the foresight to believe that because a bullet is fired into a person, that the person isn't a threat at bullet 1 or bullet 2. There's no way for you to know at all, because you don't know whether or not you've hit anything vital or if you've hit just, tissue or through and through. You don't know exactly.
Or if you missed.
Or if you missed, yes. Or if you missed. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, not that didn't dawn on me, but yeah, you're right. It's, again, you're neutralizing the threat, and no one knows. There's no way to know, considering the body mass, the falling, or I would say even the tenacity of the individual, what you have to do in that situation. How do we get the public to understand that? Because I feel like that's never been a focus.
That's a very difficult conversation because it is that because of the optics, and the optics are not good. We can agree on that because you look at that and go, this is going to take some explaining.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Walker incident, some explaining in that situation. The difficulty is getting somebody out of the emotional part of their brain to want to have that conversation. Because it is an emotional response, and going, okay, I'm willing to listen to you, and then be able to take that inside and go, okay, I'm willing to accept that. Because I could hear you and go, much like our children, oh, I can hear you, but psh,
Yeah, roll my eyes, sure.
Yeah, I'm not listening to you. Yeah, 55, get out of here. You don't know nothing. And that's what it is. To have someone earnestly want to learn what an officer goes through and the things that are being processed in that takes a willingness. And it's difficult when you see that. And you, to see it and then go, okay, I'm going to listen to James. Well, he's a police officer. I'm not going to listen to him.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to listen to Reese because, Reese and James hang out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. That immediate personal animus. Let me ask you this, and we'll get into a whole bunch of other stuff because we got to talk about the activist class and how it works with police in the next break. But let me ask you this, because I've seen this happen in other states and in other cities. Has there been any outreach to these groups, no matter who they are, Black Lives Matter, NAACP, whatever they are, the usual sort of suspects who are the rabble-rousers who go? Do you ever invite them to these training facilities? I've seen these police officers and law enforcement folks bring these folks out and put them in scenarios and ask them to respond so that they sort of get to see what it's like for a police officer, and hopefully that understanding bridges that gap. Do you ever consider that?
I've considered it. Whether or not the city wants to do that, I don't think that would be a bad idea.
Okay.
But for the union to go out there and push that narrative, I'm not going to, I don't mind it.
Okay.
But we're the employees of the city of Hartford. Why would the city not sit there and go, this would benefit the narrative of understanding between, the police are the community and the community are the police. Let's push that narrative. Like, how do we do that? Have the city take an active role in this. Right now, again, it's an ongoing investigation.
Right.
Cities, blacked out on this. They're not giving any information.
I don't get that either. And the reason why I ask is because, and you can vouch for this or not, or co-sign for that matter, I kind of believe that the law enforcement side of this is being always asked to understand the situation in the street, that this individual must be treated this way or this neighborhood must be sort of dealt with in a particular, kid gloves, so to speak. But yet that's never reciprocal on the part of police. No one in the community understands the work that goes into being a police officer, why the police officers chose this job, why they chose to be the people who run towards the fire instead of against it. They chose to protect and serve, because it's not enough to be a community police force in the sense of, I know Bob and I know Joe. You know what I mean? It can't be just that. It's got to have an understanding of why things work this way in Hartford and this works this way in the Hartford police force. Because if there's an understanding of both of your roles, I think that both of you can work together, no?
And that comes down to, if you look at it, the easiest thing that I want, and I know there's a lot of rhetoric out there about, I want a police force that's reflective of my community. What studies have you done that that's going to be a better police force?
Agreed.
Give me that. Like, one thing that I always stress, if I'm running a division, one question: do you care? I don't care if the whole Hartford Police Department's black, in women, Hispanic, in women. I don't care. It's irrelevant, because I've never stepped out of a police car in a critical incident or any incident and someone look at me and go, oh, man, there's Whitey. Oh, man, we can't. This ain't going to work for us. It's, can you help me?
Yeah.
Can you help me? Because those are the looks that come from the Hartford community. Please help me. And they see right through my skin color and go, do you care? And when we hire somebody, hire people who care. Because if you have that caring, that dialogue through the officer and the community is going to exist. And that's important.
This is the reason why I agree on the other side. That's why I think the community, whether it's activists or otherwise, needs to understand what you folks do, so that relationship, again, bridging that gap, so that when you do arrive, there is an existing relationship. The folks that are pulling up in that uniform or in that police car, and when those lights, shine up, they're not thinking or nervous about the approach. Those people care about my community, and I understand what they do or how difficult their job is, so that you can understand how difficult their lives are, because they deal with a whole bunch of stuff as well. We'll take a break. We're here live with the president of the Hartford Police Union, James Ratowski. We'll be back with more of him to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. Stand by. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. Southbound 91 coming into Hartford, delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're traveling westbound 84, you've got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge up to exit 47 Sigourney Street. Eastbound 84 is tied up about a mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. It a little slow 2 westbound as you merge with 84 West and East Hartford. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Sluggish 9 north 34 to 37 and the 72 interchange in New Britain. If you're Route 8 northbound, look out for an accident just north of exit 15 in Ansonia. Delays back to exit 13A in Derby behind that. And 95 southbound in New Haven, slowing 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Following last night's rainy weather, blustery, chilly weather has been the rule on this St. Patrick's Day, and it will stay chilly and windy the rest of this afternoon. Sunshine to some clouds, high 44. Feeling colder with the wind. Partly cloudy tonight, breezy and cold, low 23. The cold day coming up tomorrow, though not quite as windy as today. Mixture of clouds and sunshine at a high of 38. Turning out mostly cloudy tomorrow night, again cold, low 23. The cold will begin to ease up on Thursday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 45 degrees. And cloudy Thursday night, maybe a few snow flurries, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, not as cold, high 52. Heading into the weekend, cloudy Saturday, high 53. Could be a shower or two in the area Saturday night, low 42. Sunday, cloudy and becoming breezy. Maybe a couple of showers, high 57. Back to chilly weather on Monday, mostly sunny and breezy, the high of 44. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, Hartford temperature 40 degrees. I'm John Silva. President Trump expressed exasperation today over the dearth of countries so far unwilling to help secure the Strait of Hormuz 2.5 weeks into the war with Iran.
Foolish mistake. And I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test.
Trump was at the White House hosting the Prime Minister of Ireland. Also today, the president's director of the Counterterrorism Center has submitted his resignation. Joe Kent says he cannot, in good conscience, support the war. Woman is facing charges of attempted murder for setting a house fire in Thompson nearly 2 years ago. Cassandra Lee Heredia of Wyndham is charged. State police say she was among 3 connected to that fire in May of 2024. The investigation found the fire was set in 3 separate locations and a gas can was recovered about a mile away from the scene. Heredia is among 3 people, again, charged in that case. Still a slew of road closures thanks to the storms that blew through the state late Monday into this morning. Trees and power lines came down, rendering thousands of Eversource customers in the dark. The utility says about 14,313 are still without service. Man in New Haven is facing charges after police say he went on a rampage, breaking windows with an axe. They say Taiwan grooms stole the axe from a business on Grand Street and went about breaking windows of other random businesses. He's facing charges including carrying a dangerous weapon and burglary. Legislature's General Law Committee advancing bills on consumer privacy and online safety protections. The Consumer Privacy Bill is intended to add regulations to the sale of geolocation data, while the Online Safety Bill regulates several chatbot and companion AI issues. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 46 points today. The NASDAQ gained 105. S&P was up 16. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Let's take a step back in time to an era when things were built right, built to last, and a handshake meant something. Yankee Home delivers that same craftsmanship still today. It's midwinter, and you can really feel it every time you walk by your old windows. Cold drafts sneaking in, warm air slipping out, and some mornings you can see your breath inside. It's time to call Yankee Home. Yankee Home's energy-efficient, high-quality windows are designed to keep the warm air in and the cold air out all winter long. And every job is done right the first time, never cattywampus. Take advantage of our winter special. Buy 4 or more windows and get free installation or financing options like 0 down and 0% interest. Call Yankee Home now at 1-800-885-HOME. That's 1-800-885-HOME. Or visit yankeehome.com.
Yankee Home makes it easy as can be with our never cattywampus lifetime guarantee. Yankee Home.
On approved credit, restrictions apply.
If you're carrying a lot of credit card or personal loan debt, every month can start to feel the same. All those bills, all those due dates, all that stress. There's a solution that's designed to make it easier for you. National Debt Relief could put you on the fast track to paying off your credit card debt, personal loans, and even medical debt for less than you owe, with just one low monthly payment you can afford. And no, it's not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. It's a real, affordable debt relief program that could save you lots of money. National Debt Relief has already helped over 1 million people with their debt and has thousands of 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So if you owe $10,000 or more, don't wait. Call 800-300-4411 now to see if you qualify. That's 800-300-4411. One call could help reduce what you owe and simplify your monthly payments. Call 800-300-4411 now to find out how much you could save.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Of course, I wasn't ready. I got all of this stuff sitting all over money. I'm trying to find this audio clip, and for some odd reason, I can't find it now. I could have sworn I had it all ready to go, and it turns out that, as usual, I can't. When we come back, James Ratowski, as I said, if you're just joining us, is here. President of the Hartford Police Union is here. We're talking about, of course, all of the sort of response or reactions to the shootings that took place with two mentally ill individuals. And his reaction to my conversation with A.J. Johnson, who was here last week, and, of course, Benjamin Crump coming into town. I won't get you in any trouble, James. I can say all the crazy stuff. You have to be a professional. And I won't even ask him anything off the air, so you'll be asking me later saying, what did he say about this? I'm not going to throw him under the bus like that. But I do want to talk about how the police union or the police force deals with the activist class in the state, because there are issues that happen that they're very selective. And I don't know if there is a morale issue or how it deals with the morale issues that happen with these things. Because you and I were present when the governor came to the Hartford Public Safety Building, and he proposed this legislation called the Recruitment and Retention Bill, which in my view, I believe is only an extension of how he has treated law enforcement after the death of George Floyd, which I thought was odd that all of a sudden he's doing this bill, which his office wrote. And I asked him about it, like why he would have this bill after he has been so critical of law enforcement. How does that affect the police department, or how it affected the police department after the events of George Floyd and the events in 2021? And what you've seen as far as recruitment, if that's been helpful, if this new program has been helpful, if you've seen any renewed vigor with recruits in any of that. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. And your view on, if you can share with us, because I know you asked the question during that press conference as well. And I want to talk to you about that because it really didn't get a lot of burn. But you had asked a very poignant question during that press conference that I don't think you really got an answer to. You don't believe that either, do you?
No.
And I thought it was interesting that you asked, because I think you and I were in the same vein with the question you had of the governor during that press conference. So we'll get into a lot of that. And, of course, what is going on with the police forces and anything new. You and I were talking about AI off the air, which is really, really starting to dominate a lot of parts of the police force. Maybe you could share with us a little bit about if AI is instrumental in any way in policing?
No. I can share, but it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. Okay. All right. We'll talk to James Ratowski when we return. Stand by for that. Mark Christopher, he is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. He's getting you home. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. And if you are heading into Hartford right now, look for delays southbound 9133 down to 32A and B. If you're westbound 84, you're slowing approaching the Boakley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84 slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Boakley Bridge. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragodi Bridge. 9 north again slowing 32 to 34 in New Britain. 84 westbound Waterbury slowing on the Mixmaster. If you are traveling into New Haven, 91 in the Parkway, both doing very well. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic is brought to you by the Heyman Law Firm.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HEYMAN and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Heyman is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HEYMAN.
WTIC weather.
Windy and chilly will close out this afternoon. A mix of sun and clouds. High 44, partly cloudy tonight with a cold breeze and a low of 23. Cold weather tomorrow, though not as windy as today. A mix of clouds and sun, high just 38. Rather cloudy and cold tomorrow night and a low again at 23. Not quite as cold on Thursday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine and a high of 45, likely above 50 on Friday. Right now it is 39 in Berlin. It's 42 degrees in Farmington and 41 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolution, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver. From New Nordic, Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. Listen, I had an incredible experience with them. They gave me a great estimate. They were there on time, and when they came to paint our kitchen, they were in and out, and when they were gone, it was like they were never there, except they left a beautiful kitchen. Maybe it's time for you to take a look at their spring sales event. You can get 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. Serta Pro Painters, they're independently owned and operated right here in our community, so you might want to give them a call. Start spring off right. Schedule your free estimate online at certapro.com. That's Serta with a C.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk, having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com, all one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Unjustified.
Oh, yeah, here it is. I'm sorry. I've totally forgotten I was supposed to play this. So we're here with James Ratowski, president of the Hartford Police Union, and we're talking, of course, about, you know, some of the, I hate to use the word backlash, but some of the activist class who have come forward talking about this, about both of these shooting incidents. I've got my own issues with where these people apply themselves, and it is, you know, of course, it's ridiculous. In my view, but you're the one who has to deal with this because your department gets dragged in all of this. I want to play the Benjamin Crump piece. This is what we played on WTIC during the news breaks.
I mean, this was so unjustified. This was not self-defense. I mean, he pulled up less than 30 seconds. I mean, it was like, and he decided 9 bullets.
Yeah, it was the same clip that you already heard. James isn't wearing headphones, so he couldn't hear it. He was the guy showed up 30 seconds, and he decided 9 bullets, which you explained before. You've heard the clip because it was played everywhere. But Benjamin Crump called it unjustified, which... The objective here is completely lost, or the objectivity is lost in that, because his idea of unjustified, in his view, is Stevie should not have been shot and the officer is wrong for doing it. So those are the optics you have to work under. You have got to sort of counter that, but do it professionally. You can't take this thing personal. How do you do that? And how does the police force do that professionally without feeling as though they're getting dragged all the time?
Difficult line to tread. So if we want to look at that and go 30 seconds, well, they didn't beam him in.
Right.
He traveled from the west end of Hartford all the way across the city and up Blue Hills, listening to all radio transmissions. He was aware of the situation.
I traveled down that Blue Hills. It was like endless. I was like, when do I get to this address?
He was from Farmington Avenue all the way down Farmington, all the way up Woodland, then up to Blue Hills. He came from the West End. Like, again, he just didn't get beamed in. He was aware of the situation. It was constant radio communication. And I look at the community or the activist groups and going, you ask us not to be judgmental in the community.
Right.
AJ said it. Well, and he was referring to people being literate. Well, you don't know where they came from. Okay. Is Crump being judgmental now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you ask us not to do that. Or you're going to be curious and ask some questions. I haven't got anybody to say, hey, from your perspective, from what you know of your 21 years of service, what does this look like? I got hate mail. I got people telling me that was an assassination. Really? Based on what training do you have? Are you just judging? Or again, we'll go back to the emotional part of your brain. Or are you willing to just take a little trip over to the logic part and maybe listen to some information that might give you a different perspective? Because that's what's asked of us. No matter where we come from, and we're in the police force, don't be judgmental. Treat everybody the same. Well, now that the optics of this don't look good, why are we being treated differently? You ask of us not to treat you differently, but yet when there's something that you don't like, we are treated differently.
You know, the argument that I've heard, and I've made this case, again, as never being a police officer, never being a part of law enforcement, in my argument with the activists, and I've got a former old friend who knows people in the police force, has worked with police chiefs, and still has this same sort of idea. He always uses the phrase, as many others do, that you are held to a higher standard than the citizen, that you are supposed to behave with a modicum or degree of restraint, where the person that you are, I guess, enforcing the law, you know, that person can be, sort of, I don't know, he can act any way he wants to. There's no restraint there. You're the person who has to maintain this level of professionalism where the last resort is to pull your weapon. What do you say to that idea?
Where do we got in society to where you want to level humanity? Why am I not supposed to be treated with the same respect that you're asking me of? Why does it fall upon our shoulders to consistently have that? At what point in time, if you want to come with a complaint to me, do you need to scream and holler at me and act a fool? I would walk away. Right now, my 21-year career, when you can come and talk to me as an adult and give me the information I need in a human and adult fashion, I'd be more than willing to help you. But I'm not going to stand here and be berated. What good does that do? And again, we have all the training to go through that. But at some point in time, if I can't reach you and you don't want to be reached is the more important thing. Like,
Sure.
I teach de-escalation. You need two things. You need agreement, which is, hey, we're going to have a conversation. And then I need participation. Hey, I need you to drop that bat.
Yeah.
I need you to drop that gun. If I don't have those, again, I'm not some pygmy sitting in the bush hitting you with the blow dart of de-escalation.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the fog goes away from your eyes and you're like, oh my God, when did you get here, James? I didn't even see you there. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
We provide an opportunity for the person to de-escalate themselves. Listen, drop the knife. Stop. What are you doing? Those are the things that we present the opportunity for. And when those don't happen, well, where's de-escalation? It doesn't exist. Or you didn't de-escalate. If someone's driving a truck at me and they're not stopping, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Put my hand out?
Yeah. I don't know, and I'd asked this question. You again don't have to co-sign this, but the thing was, I kept asking a simple question, and I did of even AJ. I said, people in the community knew Stevie. It was evident because everyone was in the crowd shouting, "Stevie, stop! Stevie, put down the knife! Stevie, you're going to get shot." There were people who clearly knew him, knew of his mental state. None of them intervened. Not that he should have. I don't believe that any one of those folks should have intervened. He's holding a long knife. They could have been in danger. They clearly thought they were because no one approached him and said, hey, don't worry about it, officer. I know him. Stevie put down the knife, and Stevie would comply. I asked the question, does Stevie speak English? Does he understand that a gun can shoot you? What mental state is Stevie at this point where when he has so many people, officers and civilians alike, saying put down the weapon, he refuses to? Then what are we saying, or what can we say about Stevie's state of mind? Again, was he so far gone? 2, was he trying to hurt someone? And this was something that, I'll just say that I know this because I'm good authority of this, was that Stevie was walking around for a while, kind of slowly, but then when the officer, Joe, in question arrives, he makes a beeline for him. That is evident in this video. Is that the case so far?
Yes.
That he does make a beeline that he otherwise didn't make at the other officers. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, because he did the earlier videos show
he was walking towards other officers.
He lunged at a couple officers.
Yes, okay, that's right. Actually, I saw that video. Is that earlier in the confrontation?
Then he spun, so he has physical ability.
Correct. So there is a reasonable belief that every movement of Stevie, to some degree, was with intent. Like, we're not saying not intent to hurt, but intent as far as his motions, like where he was walking and where he was going, were intentional. Not what he was going to do with the knife. Is that difficult?
No, the word intent is difficult because it's in a different arena for me.
Okay, I'm using the word intent of where he is walking, not what he was, like, no intent to use the knife. I'm talking about him walking and sort of proceeding.
Yes.
That is done with an intent.
That he was moving with a purpose.
Exactly, moving with a purpose. Okay, fine. That is evident in the tape. No matter where you look, you see a person, like, he's not, I remember the Chicago case with, and I can't remember the kid's name, McDonald, with the officer had shot him as the kid was holding a knife, but he was walking away from the officer in Chicago, and the officer shot him. Remember that?
Yes.
Laquan McDonald was his name, where they had held that video for over 400 days. They kept it from the light of day. You guys made that evident. You made that clear to the public that you were going to release that video. I think it was the day of. It was made clear because, of course, there are people who were filming this on their cell phones. So you never shied away from making this available to the public. What I guess my broader point was that there was never any intent to give the impression that you guys were concerned about this shooting or that you were trying to shield this from the public.
No.
Okay.
No.
With that, what have you received from the public as at least some sort of, I don't know, I don't want to use an olive branch, or at least a consideration for the fact that you made this available to the public? Have anyone reached out to you and says thank you to the department for keeping this transparent?
No. I think it's because of the police accountability bill, it has to be released within a 96-hour window.
Okay.
So it's expected.
Right.
So
okay.
And we've released it earlier sometimes, but I don't think that mentality is there for the public because now with the law, it's an expectation that they're going to have access to it.
Okay. And now that it's been released and you guys have gone over it, what are we assessing, if we assessed anything from the video that we've seen in so many different views? Have many views been sort of, I'm assuming you guys have videos of the participants that were standing around watching as well as the police cam.
Do you mean in regard to the community talking to us about it?
Yeah.
I haven't received anything other than hate mail about it.
Okay, fair enough. There's going to be, I guess, a review of the video, not just the police video, but we have video of the bystanders as well. Are we using that as well?
Yes.
Okay, so all of that is going to be considered in the review.
So we're doing our own independent video.
Okay.
The union. Now, the Inspector General is going to have his, and I think he's put some of that out to where you'll have all of that information because it's all part of the scene. It's all part of the dynamic of the totality of the circumstances that Joe was interacting with Mr. Jones.
Mm-hmm. I'm you know what the part that I kept trying to I don't know, to decipher in this was, were people expecting the police officers to wait until Stevie got tired or decided to just go home? And I don't, because I've never understood exactly what they want in the de-escalation argument. Because everybody said we should have waited for, this should have been de-escalated. And in my view, I'm just kind of like, well, what does that entail? Like, what is a de-escalation in this? Does Stevie have to get tired and go to sleep? Like, what, other than dropping the knife, what it didn't look like he was doing?
Right.
Like, what should have been the alternative?
You go back to de-escalation takes two things, right? It takes the agreement, conversation. There was no conversation. And the participation, which was, hey, drop the knife. There wasn't any. I don't know what the community expected. Their expectation is someone came out with pool noodles and disarmed them. I don't know what that is, but that scene wasn't contained.
Right.
Mr. Jones walked wherever Mr. Jones wanted to go.
Right.
So to sit there and go, they had it under control, well, that's not a definition.
Who said that? Is there someone who said that?
The community did.
Well, they said that.
Yeah, it was under control.
Wow. That's an interesting point. I don't know. It's an interesting point of view to have. What I want to get to this before you get out of here. So the governor came down to the Hartford Public Safety Building to hold a press conference about recruitment and retainment, and offered up this sort of, I guess, an ability to get higher education with little to no tuition costs? Is that
no tuition for state colleges.
For state colleges. Was this a good use of the governor's power or ability? And what do you make of this olive branch, if anything?
And I did. I asked him, is this the beginning of an apology for him signing the police accountability bill in 2020? And you saw his reaction.
Yeah.
He actually pointed at Boyd, pointed at him, and they pointed back, and then Boyd went up there and then scrambled eggs himself.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready for that question at all.
They weren't.
But you are not. What has the sentiment been in the police force today? Has this been helpful with this bill?
It hasn't been signed. And right now...
Oh, that's right, because it's just a bill, so it hasn't...
Just a bill,
just a bill.
And the state colleges are now arguing the governor didn't allocate any money for this, so how is that going to affect? They're like, we're going to have to increase our tuition for the people that go there to offset...
In order to pay for it.
They're like, oh, yeah, and I don't know where that's going to go, but that's now the leading argument for that.
Is this guy just like is all of this stuff spitballs coming out of the governor's office? Not that you need to answer that, but I felt like that's.
I thought it was reactionary because they're looking at the recruitment and retention issue for the police departments, and when we have to do something, and in that context, well, they expected us to go up and give them a hug. You created this crisis. You signed that bill.
Yeah.
The morale, and the biggest thing for this, and maybe it's relevant to the Mr. Jones situation, is the one thing I need to know is that the administration has my back.
Right.
I have to have that. And when that goes away, well, who are you really asking to come forward to put themselves at risk to go through what these two officers are going through, knowing that they might be okay, they might have the ability to feed their families? What does that look like? That's scary. Like, why would you sign up for this job if you don't know that the community is going to support you? And be curious about what we go through.
This accountability bill was a reaction to George Floyd.
Right.
And that was when I joined WTIC, that was the first thing I addressed. Like the first week I was on the air, was that I don't understand how you crap on the police force over 1,500 miles away about an incident none of the officers had anything to do with.
I'm not asking for Lamont to get kicked out of office because Waltz in Minnesota embezzled billions of dollars. Does that make any sense?
It doesn't. It is completely lost on me that he would, to me, it was an admonishment. It was just an absolute crazy thing to do, to say, we need some accountability out there. For what? The Connecticut Police Department played no role in this.
None at all.
And it's funny because now we have to wait like 5-6 years before the governor even addresses it. Stay right there. We need to come back to this a little bit more because I want to ask some more questions. James Ratowski is here, president of the Hartford Police Union. When we return, Mark Christopher's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. If you're westbound 84, you've got delays now approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45, Flatbush 84 eastbound, slowing 46 into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you are traveling down into Meriden, a little slow as you push down between exit 19 and 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Traveling into the New Haven area, South 95, some tight traffic 46 down to exit 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Following last night's rainy weather, blustery, chilly weather has been the rule on this St. Patrick's Day, and it will stay chilly and windy the rest of this afternoon. Sunshine to some clouds, high 44. Feeling colder with the wind. Partly cloudy tonight, breezy and cold, low 23. The cold day coming up tomorrow, though not quite as windy as today. Mixture of clouds and sunshine at a high of 38. Turning out mostly cloudy tomorrow night, again cold, low 23. The cold will begin to ease up on Thursday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 45 degrees. And cloudy Thursday night, maybe a few snow flurries, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, not as cold, high 52. Heading into the weekend, cloudy Saturday, high 53. Could be a shower or two in the area Saturday night, low 42. Sunday, cloudy and becoming breezy. Maybe a couple of showers, high 57. Back to chilly weather on Monday, mostly sunny and breezy, the high of 44. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Still cleaning up the mess from a wild night of weather around here that brought down tree limbs and knocked out power to thousands of customers. At present, there are about 12,883 Eversource customers without power in the university's service area. There are also a number of local roads that are still impacted due to primarily down tree limbs, some with power lines on them. Rain is out of here, though, and we're left with partly sunny skies. Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, has announced his resignation, says he can't in good conscience back the administration's war in Iran.
This is the highest ranking and first U.S. official to resign, citing the war in Iran, but also the pretenses in which the war in Iran began. Joe Kent, who was the director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center, in a letter that he just put on Truth Social and on X, said that Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel.
CBS's Olivia Rinaldi. The well-being of warehouse workers, the focus of legislation signed by Governor Lamont, prohibits performance quotas that sacrifice on-the-job safety or interfere with meal breaks and bathroom access. Salah Bate is the Teamsters Local 443 representative, which backed the bill, although most warehouse workers are not unionized.
This bill was for the employees of these warehouse workers who don't have the protection, who had to worry about going to a bathroom, getting disciplined, who had to worry about losing their job for unsafe work standards that were put on them.
About 6 states now have laws protecting employees at warehouses like those owned by Amazon, New York and California included. Supporters say a bill in committee in the General Assembly aims to act as a bridge for those who have seen their food assistance slashed or eliminated altogether. The Human Services Committee is considering using $40 million of a special contingency fund passed last year to that end. Many were impacted by the government shutdown last fall and cuts on the federal level. Marisa Rodriguez of New Britain says it's been a struggle.
Losing SNAP, I was devastated, depressed, emotional wreck, with suicidal thoughts. As someone whose SNAP was cut, I know what it is like to lose food and struggle because of it.
Now, those eligible for the fund would include the homeless or those at risk of homelessness, adult care workers for children 14 to 18, and veterans who are not able to meet federal work requirements. Storms in the eastern half of the nation have done a number on flights that have been canceled, but so too have the sick calls of TSA workers who have not been paid since the partial government shutdown. Chris Van Cleve has more.
The vast majority of TSA officers are on the job, but those sick calls are growing by the day as some simply can't afford to come to work. The disruptions are spotty but becoming more common, and now some airports are urging flyers to arrive here 3, even 4 hours before their flights.
FlightAware reports 1,000 cancellations and 4,000 delays today. Don't look now, but March Madness is here. It's a yearly ritual at UConn. The men's and women's basketball teams gearing up for the first round of their respective NCAA tournaments. The Storrs campus relatively quiet this week with spring break, but student Evan Hamburger was on hand to grab some team swag.
They're a tournament team. They always have been, always will be, I think. And Hurley does a great job with those guys. So I think it's they got a really good, they're a strong team to make a good push.
Audio from WFSB. The second-seeded men begin tournament play Friday in Philly versus Furman. For the women, the undefeated and top-seeded Huskies will host the University of Texas San Antonio at Gampel Pavilion. On Wall Street, markets up today. The Dow gained 46, the NASDAQ up 105, and the S&P ahead 16 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, normally I would do music news, but we've got a guest. James Ratowski is hanging out here, president of the Hartford Police Union. We'll talk to him again in a little bit before we get to traffic and weather again with Mark Christopher. Roseanne just said to me that she needs some soup from the Chinese restaurant. Now, I never know which Chinese restaurant to go to. So if anyone's got any Chinese restaurants in Farmington, Roland, you do the Chinese a lot, don't you? Do the Chinese. I meant Chinese food, not the physical people. I meant Chinese food. That you couldn't figure that out? What kind of Chinese food? Is there a Chinese food place that's around here that I can go to?
Yeah, I mean.
Is that around next to the pizza place? Is there Chinese there?
Yeah, there is a Chinese place there. I've never ate there before.
You never had any food there? Okay.
No.
All right. I might as well go there. It's on the way. Well, kind of on the way. But I'll go there and go get some. She wants wonton soup, which
I
she
just got that from my wife.
She never finishes it.
It looks creepy to me every time I.
Really? You don't?
Yeah.
You've never had it?
It looks creepy. I'm not gonna eat something that looks creepy.
Well, Michael A. says, go to Highland Park for soup. Is that close? That's not close.
That's where the pizza place is. That's
is
Highland Park.
that where it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go to Highland Park. So that's where it is. Choi Yu. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, Fritz. That sounds a crazy thing.
You haven't been to Great Taste in New Britain yet?
Great Taste in New Britain. No. I've not, I'm not a real, I don't do Chinese food a lot. Roseanne likes Chinese food, so I eat it because she likes Chinese food, but it would not be my choice. If I had to, I would do pizza all the time.
Yeah.
I love pizza.
Because well, I'm not going to say it on air.
What, because I'm a fat person?
No.
Yeah, did I say?
I would have said fat person.
Yeah,
I was going to call you a name that's not appropriate on air.
What? Really? Now I got to know what you were going to call me. I like pizza because it's simple and other people make it. That's all. And that's the reason why I like it. Its slice is simple.
Sad.
No, it's not sad. Pizza's good.
Once a week, pizza is good.
Yeah, maybe once a week, pizza is good. Other than that, I'll eat Italian just, all day. Lasagna, I don't know if people know this. Not a fan?
I don't like ricotta cheese.
I broke up with a girl over lasagna. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm that serious. She made lasagna. It was straight garbage. I looked at her right in the face and said, yeah, I think we're going to see other people. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Mark, I know you would never, ever break up with somebody over bad lasagna or horrible music choices.
No.
Yeah, you have standards.
Can't believe you guys are talking about lasagna on this particular day.
Long time ago when the earth
well, I am not going to talk about... What's the
horseradish or something like
that? Yeah, whatever.
Corned beef and cabbage?
Oh, there you
corned
go.
beef and cabbage.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
No, I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm not a fan of the Irish.
I don't
corned
like
beef is great.
That's disgusting.
Corned beef is actually good. I've had a couple of corned beef sandwiches.
Cat's Deli in New York City, baby. Get
no,
down
you
there,
can't
man.
get wrong. That's not Cat's Deli is not Irish. You can see in the name it's
I
Jewish.
know, but it's great corned beef. If
yes.
you want great corned beef.
That's what all the Irish are doing right now. They're going down to a Jewish deli.
Exactly.
That's where they're going for the Irish fan at Jewish Cat's Deli.
Ryan's Deli in Vernon or Max Bebo's in Weathersfield. Get some corned beef.
I like Max Bebo's.
Yeah, that's a great
I've been there
place.
before.
Yeah, great place.
No doubt.
Love it there. Hey, guys. Oh, man, I just want to eat everything in sight. Traffic being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. 84 westbound. Delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you are traveling in toward the New Haven area, South 95 slows 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic moves slow, but your transformation shouldn't. Columbia Implant Center provides full dental implants in just one visit. Open 7 days a week in Manchester to fit your busy life. Get your smile back today at ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy tonight, cold and breezy, a low of 23 degrees. Another cold day coming up tomorrow. A mixture of clouds and sunshine and a high of 38. Mostly cloudy and cold tomorrow night, low again 23. And partial sunshine on Thursday. Not as cold Thursday afternoon, high 45. Right now it is 37 in Granby. It's 40 degrees in Wallingford and still 41 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back. Am I still playing this ridiculous audio? Okay, sorry, my bad. We're here live with James Ratowski, the president of the Hartford Police Union. By the way, did you get a bump in rank?
Yes, I'm a lieutenant.
Lieutenant now. And I was thinking about that because I know you used to be a sergeant. I know you were a lieutenant. I knew you were at a bump in rank, but I couldn't remember what it was. But I don't know if I can call you lieutenant. Sarge, I can call you that. Lieutenant's a weird thing. Just weird. It just seems weird rolling off the tongue. I know you got to get out of here, and I really appreciate you sticking around for a little longer. But, you know, I want to read this comment because I thought it was hilarious. Chris writes in the chat room, Reese suggests to the officer that we would be able to have safe streets if the police we pay for would actually protect us from the Democrats and their corrupt way of life, which I thought was fantastic. By the way, to which you respond, hey, you voted for them. So that's how that works. There are some people who are talking about some restaurants. I got I'm not going to read this one on the air. One of the people listening to us told us about a restaurant, and it was not a good review. So I'm not going to read that. That would be wrong to read that review on there. But I promise you I'm not visiting that place. I will not go there now. Anyway, James, we were talking about the governor's sort of, I don't know, better late than never sort of relationship that he is starting or trying to have with the police department with this retention and recruitment bill for, I guess, an opportunity to get higher education. Would you have gone that route in order to get more people to recruit? What would be your remedy to the recruitment? Aside from all the gimmicky stuff, what would be a way that you would get people to join the force?
Straight up?
Yeah.
Apology. Said stand up there and go, we misjudged you. We appreciate what you do. We know what you do is a hard job. I know that sometimes, just like the incidents we're talking about, the optics of things don't look well, but we're going to make sure that we have your back no matter what. Now, if you're doing criminal stuff, absolutely not. We're held to a standard to execute our duties accordingly. But let us know that you're sorry for taking a dump on us, and then come back around and go, we have your back, and this is how we're going to show you, whatever that looks like, that we support you. Because that's what we need. I need to know that when things look bad, my governor, my mayor, my chief, and the men and women around me look at that objectively and go, not the best look, but we know that it's lawful. And we're going to go into the community and we're going to support you no matter what comes. And that's a hard position to take because it's politics.
Yeah.
And I understand that. But in order to have an effective police force, I need to know you have my back.
Do you think that that's coming, or do we need a change of leadership in order to do that? Do you think that he's got an opportunity to do that still in the coming months, because we do have an election? Do you think that that's forthcoming? As I asked him, one of the questions I asked him was, hey, man, back in 2020, as you just put it, took a big steaming one on the police department for something they had nothing to do with. He was called, in essence, like a person who absolutely denigrated the police department in Connecticut. Why now? Why do this now? And I don't think he really had an answer. I even asked him, would he so much as start a campaign with you folks, like doing commercials or ads that would help people or help the department recruit? And he says, I don't know, we should be doing that. We'll start doing that. I don't know, but if we haven't, we should, something along those lines. He seemed confused at the question. Well, he doesn't seem to know if he's actually going to do something like that. Would that be helpful to do something like, a commercial or running ads, print or otherwise, to say, join our police force?
It comes down to leadership starts at the top, right? The legislators will look at that. We're going to put this accountability bill in front of you or some sort of modification to it. No, we're not going to treat our officers like that. This is a difficult job. And maybe he doesn't understand all the dynamics, but he's willing to listen and put down on paper going, we're going to be there for you. And we understand that. And sometimes we're going to take political heat, but for every one voter you lose, well, you might be gaining my vote.
Yeah, it is a way that you have to look at it. I looked at so many things about the way police, state or city, was treated. I'll give you another example. The way the state police was dealt with when there was a suspicion of racial profiling and ticketing. You remember that whole scandal? How insane that was. And people were on Front Street saying that it is what it is. These people need to be held accountable. They need to be arrested. And then further review turns out none of it was true. It was completely nonsense. No one apologized, especially the folks from, Black Lives Matter 860 or otherwise. No one came forward. No one from the NAACP, nobody from the local chapter or the state chapter. No one came forward and said, my bad. Not even the governor, for that matter, came out and said, they need to be absolutely made whole, and what happened to them was wrong. None of it. I'm confused as to, here's the best way to ask this. What is your concern that the police department or the rank and file are going to say, enough is enough, I can't do this anymore? Are we there yet, or do we believe that we have a strong police force that has faith that one day it will have a turnaround?
We're teetering right now, and I mean it sincerely in Hartford. These last two incidents and the community response to it, we've done all this good work time and time again, and it's documented and you see it. And there's something that is lawful, as awful as it looks, you just want to throw us away.
Yeah.
Like, who's putting up with that? How do I recruit somebody and go, everything that you can have will be taken away from you, and you can end up in jail for something that was actually that you did right at the right time for the right reasons? How do I sell that?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think anybody could. And if once that is the narrative, once that hits our city and it hits on a national level, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's interesting because the adjudication in all of this, and that's the part that bothers me, is that the sentiment coming from the elected officials as it pertains to the police department is going to start to trickle down in places where police officers are, one, charged because somebody's got to react. Like politically, they say, we got to do something, let's charge the officer. And then that's not enough, because if the officer is acquitted, that won't be enough. So then we got to go one step further. Now we got to get a conviction because we got to make it right. And then we're going to have that officer who is going to be facing he's going to have the book thrown at him no matter what, because there has to be a level of accountability to the point that, look, I'm going to say something controversial here, and I don't really care. I look at Derek Chauvin. I look at that documentary, The Fall of Minneapolis, and I watched police officers, people who trained Derek Chauvin, lie on the stand about his police manual, saying that he did not use a procedure in his manual. They got up on the stand and they railroaded a guy. Why? For political reasons. They even went so far as to ensure that one of the members of the jury was a member of Black Lives Matter, to literally prosecute and ensure the prosecution of this officer, to ruin his life and the life. I mean, we're talking about a city that let its police precinct burn down, gave it to the rabble-rousers and let it burn down to watch that police department retreat. We're seeing that all over the place. And we have elected officials who think that that is the route that we need to go on. That troubles the hell out of me for the rest of us. I mean, again, even for the people in the inner city who they are trying to, I don't know, appease. I don't understand it. It's just, I don't know. I'm completely out of sorts with the way in which these folks are behaving, and at the risk of losing people who are the ones who are willing to do the job that nobody else is willing to do.
Once we go, who are you calling? Who are you going to call?
A crackhead, apparently, because it's true.
We respond to four things that are society's failures. We respond to mental health, we respond to homelessness, addiction, and juveniles. None of those are our fault, but society defaults us to take care of all that. Society, the legislations that were passed, those are the issues. And then when it goes wrong, why are you arresting homeless people? Because you told us to? Because you didn't effectively take care of it? Look at all the mental health facilities that were closed by the state of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a better place for Mr. Jones. Maybe it wasn't on Blue Hills. Maybe, Attorney Crump needs to sue the state and not look at the city of Hartford, because we didn't take away the mental health facilities. Mr. Jones was in our town for a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a better place for him.
There's a beautiful part about what you just said about Benjamin Crump, because sometimes I fill in at our sister station, WBEN in Buffalo. And Benjamin Crump is out there suing for the Tops supermarket shooting. Remember that happened in Buffalo? Remember that? So who is he suing? He's suing everyone and their grandmother out there. The guy is arrested, in jail, serving time for his deeds. Ben Crump went up there and sued anybody, from social media companies to people who sold him the gun, everything along the line that got this guy from his house to the Top supermarket. And here, the first place he went to is to the police department, which, again, all of that accountability that he does in Buffalo no standing here.
So he came in, and think of it like this. Whatever money he gets paid, he was up there,
Sure.
justice for Stevie. And we need better mental health responding. Well, if you take, and I don't know what his cut will or won't be, say he takes $5 million out of the city coffers.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help our community?
No.
Or does it now hinder it, getting the mental health facilities and the mental health framework for someone like Stevie so we can pass it? So is this justice for Stevie or is this cash for Crump?
Yeah.
Because I think it's cash for Crump.
I agree with you. I know it is.
What's better for the Hartford community? Maybe he can donate all his money that he gets from this lawsuit, if there is money, and puts it right back into the city. You think Mr. Crump's going to do that for us?
I don't think so at all. I know it's a cash grab, as it always is. He gets his cut, whoever gets paid. Of course, there's always a settlement because nobody wants to deal with the optics of that. So it is it's a smash and grab in my view. That's what's going to happen. But you bring up a very good point, because that money is not paid by anybody but the taxpayers, and that money could go to mental fitness or mental help towards other Stevies in the community. And now that money's gone because it's sitting in the pockets of Crump.
Correct. Not the best for our community.
No, absolutely. And I wish, I again, all of them, from the mayor to the governor, I wish they had the foresight to know that we cannot, this is not an optics thing that they have to buffer or to, put a bandage on. This is a stand behind your police force so that they can do their job effectively. And so we don't have another situation like Stevie. We deal with the problem instead of dealing with the solution that outsiders deem possible for us or profitable for
Create
themselves.
that division within our community for what?
Yeah.
Is it going to better our community?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. And other people will take advantage of it, and they'll seize on it because they know that these elected officials are weak and they can be bought. Or if not sort of bought, they could be fleeced, I should say, which is exactly
what's going to be happening.
Yeah, well, of course, because everybody's going to jump at, they're giving away checks. And sure enough, that sort of thing breeds other contempt from a bunch of officials, and we know who those folks are. James Ratowski, thank you as always, man. Thank you for being a friend, and thank you for coming by and hanging out with me. It's always good to see you, and I'm glad you're in good spirits in spite of all of this, and you are driven, and you are protecting your officers, and I see it, and I talk to you all the time, so I see exactly you have their best interests at heart, and I think that's kind of the reason why we're friends, because you care much about the people who you have to protect.
I appreciate it.
I believe that. I love that loyalty. That's all I'm about. I try to be loyal to the people I care about. James Ratowski, anything you want to say last before we get out of here? Just
our community needs to heal.
Yeah.
And I think outside influences are going to cause more division and healing. And if there's conversations people want to have, we're available to have them.
By the way, you answer all of your requests, I should say. you are out front. All right, folks, we'll be back in a little bit. We'll wrap up the show. We'll also take your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Thanks, James. I appreciate you. Mark Christopher, he is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center getting you home. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, delays approaching the Boakley Bridge out to 45, Flatbush 84 eastbound slows, 46 into the tunnel. If you are traveling 91 southbound, a little tight 33 down to 32 A and B, another bump 27 to 28, a little slow again down by 23 West Street and Rocky Hill. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 southbound's a little tight as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. And traveling northbound on the Parkway, look out for an accident either in the West Rock Tunnel or just prior to the West Rock Tunnel. Delays are approaching 46 behind that. And we have an accident 91 northbound. That's in New Haven between exits 6 and 8. The right lane is out there, and delays pushing back to I-95 behind that. South 95 New Haven slows 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
You have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
Following last night's rainy weather, blustery, chilly weather has been the rule on this St. Patrick's Day, and it will stay chilly and windy The rest of this afternoon, sunshine to some clouds, high 44. Feeling colder with the wind. Partly cloudy tonight, breezy and cold, low 23. The cold day coming up tomorrow, though not quite as windy as today. Mixture of clouds and sunshine at high of 38. Turning again mostly cloudy tomorrow night, again cold, low 23. The cold will begin to ease up on Thursday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 45 degrees. And cloudy Thursday night, maybe a few snow flurries, low 31. Mostly cloudy on Friday, not as cold, high 52. Heading into the weekend, cloudy Saturday, high 53. Could be a shower or two in the area Saturday night, low 42. Sunday, cloudy and becoming breezy. Maybe a couple of showers, high 57. Back to chilly weather on Monday, mostly sunny and breezy, the high of 44. I'm Bob Lawrence of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Sunny skies. Temperature is 37 degrees. Police have arrested an axe-wielding suspect in New Haven. It was just before 11:30 Monday morning. Officers responded to a business in the 500 block of Grand Street. They say 45-year-old Taiwan grooms smashed a window, grabbed an axe, then proceeded to smash windows at various other random businesses. When police confronted him, Grooms initially refused to drop the axe. He was apprehended after a brief struggle. Charges include carrying a dangerous weapon and criminal mischief. Also in New Haven, officers have made an arrest in a shooting from Friday. Xavion Battle, they say, shot a woman during an argument while intoxicated. Victim sustained a gunshot wound to the arm. The 29-year-old Battle faces assault and other charges. Municipalities have spent this Tuesday cleaning up the mess left behind from the high wind and heavy rainstorm that blew through here last night. A lot of trees came down, so too did power lines. Eversource still has a little over 12,000 of its customers offline at this point. There are also a number of local state streets that are impacted by downed tree limbs and or power lines. Nursing home where a resident wandered away and was found dead in a snowbank on a sub-zero degree morning last month is closing. Bickford Health in Windsor Locks is looking to place residents after the facility was ordered shuttered. It was last month that 93-year-old Peggy Healy walked out of a back entrance and was found hours later. President Trump pushing back against claims by the director of the National Counterterrorism Center about the motivations for the Iran war. In announcing his resignation, Joe Kent claimed that Iran posed no imminent threat to the U.S. The president, though, says Iran is a tremendous threat. Kent also said it was clear the U.S. started the war due to pressure from Israel, which the president has denied. On Wall Street, the Dow, the market saw minimal gains today. The Dow picking up 46. NASDAQ was up 105 points, and the S&P finished up 16. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Let's take a step back in time to an era when things were built right, built to last, and a handshake meant something. Yankee Home delivers that same craftsmanship still today. If your bathroom has moldy corners, dingy grout lines, broken tiles, and rust stains, it's time to call Yankee Home. You can have a brand new, bright, beautiful bathroom in as little as 1 day. From design to demo, plumbing to final product, our team will transform your bath fast. Every job is done right the first time. Never cattywampus. Take advantage of our winter special with 50% off installation plus 0 down and 0% interest. Call Yankee Home at 1-800-885-HOME. That's 1-800-885-HOME. Or visit yankeehome.com. That's yankeehome.com.
Yankee Home makes it easy as can be with our never cattywampus lifetime guarantee. Yankee Home.
On approved credit, restrictions apply.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
All right, let's see if we can get both of these things in here. Let's start with the music news. News. Happy birthday to Jefferson Airplane co-founder, guitarist, and singer, born in 1941, Paul Cantor, who turns 85 years old. A group called the Lovin' Spoonful. You guys got to remember that, but of course, if you're older, he turns 82, John Sebastian. And, of course, you know the song, Do You Believe in Magic and Summer in the City. Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, a band that I love. And my favorite hit, 1979. He turns 59 today. Justin Hawkins of The Darkness was born today. He turns 51. Hozier, he's the guy who sings that song, Take Me to Church. I hate that song. He turns 36. I didn't know he was that young. That song is old, so he must have been like in his early 20s when he put that song in. He's got a strong voice. It is the 48th anniversary of Elvis Costello's The Years Model that came out in 1978. It was his breakthrough new wave masterpiece featuring the song Pump It Up. I don't know anybody who's an Elvis Costello fan. I know some songs by Elvis Costello that I like, but I can't say that he's got a bunch of great hits. A band that I do like, Depeche Mode. Black Celebration, released in 1986 with the songs A Question in Time and Stripped, was released 40 years ago. 31 years was the date of Made in England by Elton John. That was in 1995. It's returned him to the charts with Believe and Blessed. And Van Halen's Van Halen 3 was released 28 years ago in 1998. It was the band's first and only album with Gary Cherone on vocals. Of course, that is after Sammy Hagar. And that is your music news. Sammy Hagar, look, I know that a lot of people say that he's a great singer. Yes, I agree with you. But I remember when he first came out, I remember this concert where he walked out in red sequin. And I remember saying, poor guy, because I get the pressure of being David Lee Roth, but it was so much overkill. And I was like, oh, what? This is a bad fashion choice. I was always bothered by it. But I will admit, Sammy Hagar, still a classic singer, classic rocker, and deserves a lot of credit for his contributions to rock music. Did I like him as much as David Lee? No, for Van Halen, but you know, so it goes. David Lee Roth was he was that guy. He was just that guy. Whether it was phony, fake, and people hated him, fine. I get it. I get it. I totally understand. But if I were to compare the two, I gotta go David Lee Roth. Forgive me. Just saying. It's a red rocker. Come on. Whatever. Mark Christopher, he is at a BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Come on, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
Oh, with Van Halen?
Diamond Dave, baby.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's not even
What
close.
do you say about me? When the end comes, I know I was just a gigolo. Life goes on without me. Look, can I tell you a little secret, Mark?
Yes.
I do not do karaoke a lot, but when I do, it is this song. That's the song. It's that one or That's Life by Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
I love Just a Gigolo, but only Sammy Hagar's version.
You don't like the Louis Prima version?
No.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I love the David Lee Roth version. I still think that's one of the funniest videos at the time. It shows off David Lee Roth in all of his glare.
He was the showman back in the day.
He was,
boy.
indeed.
He really was. Hey, guys, if you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the westbound side of 84 coming into Hartford. You're going to see delays in East Hartford approaching the Bulkhead Bridge out to exit 43 Park Road in West Hartford. Eastbound 84 slows 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91's a little slow, 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. 91 northbound, we have an accident now in New Haven, and that is between exit 6 and 8. The right lane shut down there. Delays are back to I-95 behind that. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy tonight with a cold wind at a low of 23. Another cold day coming up tomorrow. Mixture of clouds and sunshine and a high of 38. Partly to mostly cloudy. Cold tomorrow night, low 23. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds and a high of 45. Not as cold at the end of the week. Mostly cloudy on Friday. High 52. Right out is 37 in Meriden. It's 40 degrees in Plainville and 41 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Middlesex Health welcomes the Connecticut Golf Show March 27th through 29th at the Connecticut Convention Center. Get front door bonus golf, free tailor-made balls, and more while they last. Tested by big brands with Chris Cody's Golf Shops, and watch college hoops on our 19th hole. Tickets at ctgolfshow.com.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at amazonbusiness.com.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with your 2026 tax tips. How should you decide whether to engage a pro or go it on your own for your taxes? Now is the time to figure out whether or not it's necessary, because it's awfully hard to find someone to help with those taxes in April. If you have a complicated financial life, you may want to pay up for a professional. For example, small business owners and those who are self-employed may want someone who's familiar with Schedule C, who can advise on the best type of retirement plan, and who will let you know when you should file a Form 1099 to report any payments you made to others. If you had a lot of investment activity, sold property, or have to file an estate tax return for a deceased family member, you may also want guidance.
Tax season can be overwhelming, but UHY makes it simple. Our professionals provide comprehensive tax advisory services to help individuals and businesses stay compliant and save money. Call our Farmington office at 860-530-6949 or visit farmingtoncpa.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, David Lee Roth was just one of those things that as a kid, I was saying yesterday about how much I didn't like R&B music, and rock and roll wasn't my thing really, because I was so into hip hop. It was just spoke to me. I was just so into rap music. And then you watch that video Jump, and you go, who the hell is this guy? And the energy is this, you cannot deny it. So there's David Lee Roth just on stage, and you're just going, wow, they just look like they have a blast. Little did I know there's a reason for that. I'm a kid, okay, so what do I know? Like, when people introduced me to the fact that, rockers were getting drunk and getting high and doing all that stuff, I'm a kid. I do none of those things. I don't know that. All I know is these guys are having a blast. So the optics are to me was like, wow, it must be fun to be in a band. Not that I can play any instruments, but then, of course you get sullied, you get messed up when you grow up and you're just like, oh, is that why they were so happy? And they're miserable now. But yeah, David Lee Roth just stood out to me. How could he not? So that's when Sammy Hagar came around. I was just going, all right, I guess, if that's the thing. I never like it when groups switch up. Like there's a new lead singer. You can change a guitarist. You can change a drummer. But never change the lead singer. You just don't. Unless it's a really, really good lead singer. Then you can switch it out. Have you ever had a good lead singer like switch up on you? It was like, no, this guy's better.
Yeah.
Whom?
The Temptations.
Okay, maybe that's
Ollie Woodson. He became the new lead singer
after Dennis Edwards.
Was that his name, Dennis Edwards?
Dennis Edwards. Don't look any further.
Yeah. Treated Like a Lady. He wrote "Treated Like a Lady."
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that is because I used to write with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I flew out.
So you're biased.
Yeah, I flew out to his house in L.A. But he was a better singer than the
I can see that.
He was a great talent.
But you know what? See, that's different when you have a group name. Like if it was Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, if they had changed that into Teddy Pendergrass and the Blue Notes.
Yeah. Then now you have to rename. I mean, anyway, that's a little tricky.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was just. You can't replace Eddie Van Halen. Agreed. 100% Nern. My apologies. You could not get rid of Eddie Van Halen. I would admit totally. I recant what I said earlier. Clearly, that would have been insane. So that's a good point. And thank you for correcting me on that. Ned says Sammy Hagar was known as the Red Rocker. I know that, but again, you have to understand it really does. You just don't wear that. Let me see. Stop it. Van Halen was the only successful replacement of a rock band singer. Okay, maybe Genesis. Yeah, I was going to bring up Genesis, definitely. But you can't tell me. Listen, Craig, if that's the case, who do you like better? Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth? Not that that's a debate. I thought this debate was over. I didn't know it was a new debate. That doesn't even sound right. Stevie V, what's going on, buddy?
Well, first of all, you're missing the big point about being in a rock and roll band. It's the groupies.
I'm sorry. Say that again?
I said you're missing the big point about being in a band. It's the groupies.
Oh. My apologies.
Teddy Pendergrass would have to be green or bluegrass. I mean, it can't be Blue Notes.
Exactly.
But do you know that actually Sammy Hagar helped establish a city or a town in Mexico, and he had a tequila brand?
I do remember. I did hear that. In fact, he was on Fox Business talking about that with one of the hosts a couple of years ago.
Gotcha. So, anyways, what TV show from the mid-'70s actually had a song that became number one on the charts for a while? You should know this.
A song that was a TV theme song that became number one. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the song is from a TV show in the 70s.
Yes, I just said that.
Oh, you did say? I didn't hear you say the 70s. Yes. Okay. In the 70s,
yep.
I am going to say the theme to Taxi.
I don't believe that charted, but actually, one of the birthday people today, John Sebastian.
Okay.
He wrote the theme. He wrote the theme for Welcome Back, Carter.
Oh,
call the show Carter. Yeah.
I did not know that. Welcome Back, Carter. Well, Welcome Back is the name of the song. That was a number one single?
For a while, yes, if I recall correctly. Sometimes I get my facts wrong. Like the other couple of weeks ago, I mentioned I thought Jay Giles was from Connecticut because I heard that.
Yeah.
But he actually was in a town in Massachusetts called Groton.
Oh, okay. All right.
But,
somebody said, was it Happy Days? But that song is a lot older, Michael A.
Well, I guess they might have pulled that. But anyways, one of these days we got to go over that mentalist thing when you get some time.
Yes, absolutely. You know what, Stevie, do me a favor. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to grab your number, and I'm going to give you a holler later on, okay?
You got it.
All right, thank you. Let me do that real quick. I'm going to put him on hold. There he is. Okay, and last but not least is our good friend who hasn't called in a little while. White Mike is in the house. Where you been, buddy?
Oh, man, this Indian doctor is working me like a slave. Jesus Christ.
You managed to get 2 slurs in there right at the opening sentence.
I work from 7:30 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night without a break on a regular basis.
Wow. That's rough, buddy.
It sucks. So I'm talking about bands. I'll tell you, I met David Lee Roth.
Did you?
I met Dave at my first concert. My first concert was Dave on the Skyscraper tour.
Okay.
And after the show was Poison opened, and Dave was the lead. Great show. It was like he had Steve Vai in the band, so just awesome. So we went to the Hilton afterwards because the girl I was dating wanted to go see where the band was hanging out. So we go to the Hilton, and we end up drinking with the keyboard player from the band, a guy named Brett Tuggle, who was a former NASA employee whose brother played drums in the band. Great guy. So we're sitting here talking, and David Lee Roth walks in like a king surveying his kingdom.
I bet.
With two of the hottest women I've seen in my freaking life. They look like music video extras. He comes over to us, right? And it's, dude, he was 100% just what you think he was going to be.
I believe it.
Full time. It was full showbiz. He tousled my hair, which was kind of like Sammy Hagar at the time. And he says some stuff like, you guys enjoying the greatest rock and roll keyboard player in the world, Brett Tuggle. How you boys do it? He tousled my hair, and he's like, you guys drinking? I'm like, no, sir. He's like, kamikazes for the table. David Lee Roth bought us multiple kamikazes and told us inappropriate rock and roll stories for 20 minutes. Hung out with us, like just kept drinking, was having bum cigarettes off me, nice guy. And finally I was like, I'm a nerd. I'm like, Mr. Roth, sir, what about these girls? He said, kid, they're a dime a dozen. I do this for you guys. You're the real fans. And I've loved David Lee Roth ever since.
Man, how could you not? I love him just for that story. I wasn't even there.
But I will tell you, they were a more successful band with Sammy Hagar. They sold more records.
That is true. 100% true. I will not deny it. In fact, someone just said, someone just wrote, David Lee Roth's stuff stands the test. Sammy's stuff gets better with time. Love them both. They were essentially 2 different bands. And it's right. They were really 2 bands because I will tell you, the Right Now song is a great song.
Look, the difference between David Lee Roth, Van Halen, and Sammy Van Halen, Dave said it on Joe Rogan. He said Dave's songs are about sex and Sammy's songs are about love.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Dave was a rock and roll animal.
Yep.
That guy was a party machine, and Sammy Hagar was just a fun guy, and there's a difference.
Yeah.
Dave's just cooler. Nothing wrong with Sammy's a better talent all the way around. Better singer. He brought guitar to the band. He's a better songwriter. But Dave just has that freaking thing, man. He has that
He was rock star
thing.
Yeah.
He's a rock star.
Yeah.
Now, it's sad to see him now.
Yes.
Because he's still doing it. He looks terrible. And I don't understand, man. It's like, is it a thing that, like, Jewish dudes look more Jewish as they get older? Because he didn't look Jewish at all in the 80s. And
I know. I would have. Isn't that wild? I would have never. Yeah. I have to keep reminding myself of why am I forgetting his name right now? Gene Simmons. I have to keep reminding myself. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. They're Jewish. I totally forgot about that. As you get older.
There's a clip from some old talk show from the 70s where Gene Simmons is on in full Kiss regalia, and Dodie Fields, I think is her name, this old Jewish comedian lady.
I do remember.
On there with him, and he's doing his full, bass demon thing, sticking his tongue out. She looks at him, she goes, wouldn't it be funny if underneath all that makeup was just a nice Jewish boy from New York? He kind of gets uncomfortable, and she looks at him, she goes, the hook doesn't lie.
Wow.
And he was so embarrassed because he knew this old lady nailed him because people didn't know that he was Jewish. They didn't know what Jews were in the 70s.
That's such a great point.
He did.
Thank you, boss.
So, yeah, dude, much better band with Sammy, much cooler band with Dave. How's that?
Without a doubt, man. Thank you so much, Mike, and good hearing back from you, buddy.
That's all right.
You got it. Bye. Yeah, absolutely. Lee Roth, Russian Jews, semi-Italian, and Irish. Yep. That was just a band that I identified with as a young hip-hop kid. Watching that band and watching David Lee Roth made everything. I was like, oh, so this is rock. It's hard to go, and I'll tell you this is the absolute truth. I have to do this. It was the reason why I couldn't get with Bon Jovi. I just couldn't. I felt like I was getting ripped off. I just did. I did. I got that the girls loved them, but not that the two were ever the same or in the same field at all. But you can't I can't see Van Halen and then look at Bon Jovi and go, yeah, cut from the same cloth. Couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. And no, as much as they tried. And I don't think they helped themselves with that Lay Your Hands on Me song. I don't think they helped. They didn't. It just didn't sound, I don't know. They weren't the same. They just weren't. That's all. Let me just tell Stevie real quick. Hey, Stevie, I got your number. I just copied it. I'm going to give you a holler later on, okay?
You got it.
All right, thanks, buddy. I didn't want to keep him on hold all this time. So tomorrow we've got hearings to go over. We know we had some testimony today from Christine Gio is her name. She is the woman who is advocating for this new homeschooling bill. She was also at the testimony last week, Friday. We'll get some audio from that and see how well she was grilled, if grilled at all. During that hearing, we'll play that for you. Also, anything or any other new details that happen in the world of news. We don't have any guests set up for this week at all, but I am going to talk to Chris B. because he's setting up an interview. I'm going to see whether or not we could do it this week, if not next week. Other than that, what do we have going on? I will tell you this. In the next coming days, and it should be soon, we are going to have the full announcement of our debate, which is happening on April 30th. We'll tell you all the details about it. I promise you. We're already Tuesday. We should have information for you as late as Friday, if not earlier. I'm hoping for Thursday to let you know all the details and how you can attend. Okay? It's going to be a big, giant production. So stay tuned for that. We have the venue and we have the date. So all of that is coming up really, really soon. I can't wait to tell you all about it. And with some updates, hopefully, on who's going to show up and who may not. So that's just the way that it is. Also, I'll give you updates on Roseanne and how she's doing. Let me read this. Jerry writes, he goes, what about the guy that took over for Steve Perry in Journey? I don't know who he is, but I know he sounds like Steve Perry, so no, I don't care. Yes, they found, yes, I know that. I remember that whole story. And watching that guy from the Philippines sing songs from Journey, I was like, wow, he sounds just like him. But at that point, Journey was kind of over. Like, they got a new singer to go on tour for old Journey records. So it was just a different thing. Just a different thing. I'm getting this. Somebody just sent me a message talking about hitting a nerve. These people are funny. Anyways, I always say radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. I'm Reese On The Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. We will see you back here at 2 p.m. Getting you home is our good friend Mark Christopher. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Number one.
What's
March 27th, 1976.
Wow.
John Sebastian.
That means we are about to embark on a 50-year anniversary of that number one.
That is correct.
Wow.
What's today? Today's the 17th.
17th.
So 9 days.
Yeah. That's incredible. Look at the timeliness of that. Is that weird?
I know, that is weird. Number one song, baby. Have a good night. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars,
That's
Reese.
right.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to all. Have fun tonight. 84 eastbound coming into Hartford a little slow as you move into the tunnel. Westbound 84 slows bulk the bridge of 47 Sigourney. Southbound 91